Good morning. How is everyone doing? Just tapping on my phone. Oh, yeah. Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Hope everyone's well and having a good weekend. How's your weekend going? What is everyone up to? What's your weather like? It's beautiful outside right now here in Barcelona. Lovely. It's stunning, actually. Just a couple of clouds in the sky. Who we got in here? Barry, Nick, how are you doing? Ranjit, whichever name you want to call yourself today. Big up Perchy. Doesn't look like there's any cricket today. Barry, put the cricket link in the chat. If you don't know, go over and look at Barry's cricket channel. It's brilliant. Barry's amazing. Yeah, I don't watch cricket anyway. I could be good. Yeah, who is going to the game tomorrow? By the way, let me know in the chat. Put in the chat. I'll put a poll. Actually, we'll do the poll quickly. If you give me 30 seconds, I will. I'll put that in there. I would like to know who out of all you guys. There you go. I'll ask you guys if you're going to the game tomorrow in the poll. If you're going, yes or no. I'd like to know how many of you in the chat here are going. There's 50 of you in here, and we've got 13 likes. Come on, guys. You know the drill. Pay your rent, as like is the new saying to go for it. Pay your rent. You click a button and you're in. Welcome. You click it to say you're here. Thanks, Mia, for sending people over. Big up to you, Mia. Thank you very much. Big up, Leo Land's Lego. Hope you're doing well. Leo Land Lego. Who else we got? Bald Bean Counters. Yeah, thanks, Mia. Dragging D's Nuts. Best name on YouTube. Still, no one beats it. The Coughmeister. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? You've got your hammer out to protect the chat. Darius, yeah, I saw this earlier. You're not blocked, mate. You're here. Welcome. And I saw you are part of the Fantasy Football League. So, guys, if you don't know, if you're new and you don't know, I created a Fantasy Football League for everyone. I've put a prize for a £30 gift card. However, if we get, I think it was 14 more members before the start of the season, so 8 days away. If we get 14 new members, the membership's just there. Or Ben, can you put it in the link for the membership? I will double it to 60. It was going to be 50, but I'll double it to 60 if we can get 14 more members. If it's just a little button there, Ben, if you can pop the membership in, that would be amazing. And I will put the link now, guys, for the Fantasy League. Get involved. There's a load of people involved. So it's all a bit of a laugh. Let me just go and do that. Give me 30 seconds. Somehow I can't find YouTube because I'm an idiot on my phone. Where am I? There I am. The Perchy. Live. Okay. So I don't echo. Okay. Boom. There you go. It's in there. The link is just in there. So if you want to, guys, just click on it, enter your fantasy football team, and welcome. Darius, I know you're involved, mate. I hope you're in. ESPN tomorrow's game. Yeah, I'm going to be watching it on TV, definitely. Good morning, Derek. Hope you're doing well. How are you, sir? Yeah, no, Darius, you're fine. Big up Cole Simpson. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, big up, mate. Big up, Mia. Hope you're doing well. Isle of Wight, you're going to the Isle of Wight. I like the Isle of Wight. It's nice. I used to go there when I was in the UK. It's nice there, nice place. Big up, Bobby Andrew. Links to Taremi, Porto. Hope that's not true. The lad's 31. Yeah, for me, if we're going to go down this route, if we're genuinely going to go down this route when we're going to get young, hungry players, Taremi's not the one. By the way, he's a good goal scorer. Nothing against that. He's like a BTEC version of Harry Kane. He's a bit older, but he can score a goal. He's a good goal scorer. 1 second, put that up there so I can sit properly. Yeah, he's a good goal scorer, Taremi. I'm nothing against him on that, but for me, I want to get young, dynamic players. Let's build a team from youth upwards. That's how I would see it. Nothing against the player. I think he's a good player, but not the answer if we sell Harry Kane. Definitely not. Yeah, whether who else we got? Who else we got in the chat? Yeah, everyone go over now to Knotty Green Cricket Club and everyone subscribe. And everyone go over and just comment on Barry's cricketing ability. It is brilliant. Go over there. Yeah, Knotty Green, go for it. Yeah, hashtag pay your rent. Come on, guys. 66 in here, 24 likes. Come on, let's get that straight to 50. How about that? Get to 50 in the next 5-10 minutes. Come on, guys. Let's do that. Yeah, Scott is right. I love it. Brilliant. Fair play. That's good. I like that one. Cannot afford to get there. As in the game. Yeah, listen, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, fair enough. If you go in but not going to the game, of course, if you're going to go and protest, go and join Brian and Co at the protest. Get involved, guys, of course. Morning, Tom, one of the members. Join the membership club, guys. Come on. We can get some members in. That would be brilliant. Yeah, good job. It's not today. Is it hammering it down at the moment in the UK? Oh, it's lovely. I feel really. I do like it. Do you know what I love when it pours in the UK? I do get really giddy inside because I look out the window and go, "There's like a couple of clouds in sight," and it's pouring in the UK. I do get a bit annoying like that. As in you wanted the last day to join the fantasy league. Yeah, mate, get involved, mate. Listen, even if you join now, Leo, for the fantasy team, it doesn't stop. You can keep swapping players out until next Friday, I believe. But yeah, what I'm going to do, guys, with the fantasy league, every match week, I'll put the league table on my community page, and I'll make sure I'll keep reminding myself to put that up to see how everyone in the community is doing. That'll be a good laugh. How many lookalikes live in the Collison household? I know there's Barry, Nick, and then Barry. How many others? By the way, big up Perch. Yeah, big up Rob. You got Barry, you got Nick, you got Ranjit. Who else have you got? There's a ton of them. Yeah. Big up Nick Brown. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, guys, there you go. There's a link. Click on the link. Join the membership if you want to join. There's I think it's at $1.99. So get involved. If you want to get involved, we will be, as the season starts, there will be membership streams at least every fortnight. I'll try and do at least one week a week. I'll try and do one a week, but the aim is to do it fortnightly. Definitely confirmed at doing fortnightly. I will try and do it every week because there's a lot coming up in the new season. I've got loads of work in the background which I've been designing and stuff and getting new bits and bobs. With a massive help to Susie, by the way. Before anyone, this isn't just she does a lot of the artwork. Her design work is brilliant. I put the finishing bits and put in the sort of players involved in that I want to put on the thumbnails and stuff. But her artwork is second to none. It is brilliant, genuinely. Big up Eamon Burns. We need another defender for sure. Yeah, agreed. Van der Ven is flying in. Will we get a confirmation that he's signing here? I still have Kane in FPL, Darius. Yeah, I didn't put Kane in. I thought I'd save the money and go elsewhere. I won't tell you who I've got. Yeah, big up, big ball bean counter. Yeah, mate, welcome in. Let me know. Obviously, try and remember, guys. Obviously, if you're going to put your real name or something in there, you've got to try and tie it to what your name is on YouTube, just so I can remember. Because obviously, anyone could just claim who wins. Bobby Adju, morning Porchy. Yeah, keep the Porchy banter going. The Porchy banter's brilliant. I respect it. Who's giving you military? Listen, do you not? What's wrong with my car? I always go, Bobby. When I'm out here, the problem is when my hair gets even just a little bit long, it gets really greasy because it's so warm. So I try to get a real skin fade as much as I can. I haven't really done my hair very well. I need to do it better, but I want to sort my beard out. But I had a bit rushed because I was late to the barber yesterday. Can't afford to go. Yeah, listen, Tequila. No, exactly. If you can't go, you can't go. Listen, I don't blame people for not going. Of course, if you can't go. We got who else we got in here? Yeah, it's a famous song as we protest in the sun, we protest in the rain, we tried to stop us and look what they did. Exactly. I had Ndombele in my FPL team. Changes had to be made. Why have you put Ndombele in? Can I ask a question? I didn't think we were going to talk about FPL, but why not? Let's talk about it whilst we're going through the chat. What is one of the weirdest players you've put in your FPL team that has just done magically well out of nowhere? I'm trying to think of some. There's a few that I just put in and at the start gone, just worked for me. Let me know. I'd like to know if there's any random ones because everyone sort of goes to the same ones. Has anyone got anything kind of off the grid random in their FPL team this season as well? Have you not gone for you've gone something rogue? Maybe a few Luton players. Have you got a few Luton players in? Let me know. I'd like to know. I'm just intrigued. My name is on them. Oh, okay. Big up. Yeah, that's cool. F it. Oh my, yes, come on. The lead mod. I want it to be the lead mod is your name, Ben. Get involved. Go on. Lewis Dunk. Oh, that's not a bad shout. Yeah, Lewis Dunk did well for me. I think it was a Brighton player that did really well for me if I was thinking last year. I can't remember who. It's going to really bug me. But yeah, I think I had someone that just seemed to do well. My FL name is I'll be back. Mine is I predict a diet. I predict a diet's my one. Because I need to get back to the gym. I've got Bell from Luton. Do you want me to put should I put my team up? Do people want to see my team, my fantasy team? Let me know. I'll put my team. My name will always be the same. You'll find out. I love it. You have a Luton. Everyone's got a Luton guy on the bench. Yeah, the 4 mil. Should I put my team up? Do people want to see my team? Should I give away my secrets of what I've done and how I'm going to beat every single one of you? I didn't think we'd be talking about FBL. Can't make it for the next few weekends, fam. Yeah, big gutted, but honestly, would love it to be. We still need to keep up my Twitter rants. Yeah, Tom, your Twitter rants are brilliant. Mine are too. I love Twitter rants until morons on Twitter decide to just be what do I call it? Oh yeah, no, I called him. I'm not going to swear because I want to be monetized. So I call him a Twitter tat. You can fill in the blank. That's all I want to say. Yeah. Sick and tired of the Kane situation. Hope he goes soon. Listen, see, Jimi Hendrix, this is my thing. I agree. I think for my theory is I look further. I've got a lot of people. I had a lot of debate with people on Twitter yesterday. And I look further than my nose. I look further than next season. Everyone's going, yeah, but it's one more season with Harry Kane. I go, but to lose him on a free is a mad one for me. Really is. And for me, the thing is what we're going to have if we keep him. We're going to have this every single week. We're not. We could go and beat Man United 4-1, but then Postecoglou is going to be asked about. Well, Harry Kane scored a hat trick against Man United today, but are you any further in him signing a new contract? Everything will just turn back to Harry Kane if we keep him. I just want to miss. I miss my football club. And Dingra at Brighton, and yeah. He's one at the moment, Dominic, that I really am thinking about putting in. But I've gone for 3. I've already got 3 other Brighton players. That's my thing. I am thinking to put this guy in because he's had an amazing pre-season and he's a bargain. Shall I put my team up? Let me know. Spam yes or no in the chat if you want to see it. Should we see who's? Oh, screw it. Let's go and see who's in it. Let's get involved. Screw it. I have to type it in though. Fantasy Premier League. I've got to remember my password, I think. So I usually use my phone. Yeah, go on, let's get it up. So first of all, we are in. Brilliant. Let's go. Okay, let's see who's in first. I'm going to get rid of that and minimize that. Sorry for me talking in the middle of it. I talk when I do stuff, I talk all the time. Okay, share my screen. Share screen. There we go. Okay, can you all see that? Or should I make it zoom in a bit? Should I zoom in? Let's see. This is firstly who's involved in the old. I didn't think we'd be talking fantasy. Here we go. Names are coming up. Make it a little bit smaller. There we go. So there's me. I predict a diet's mine. Who we got? We've got expected to lose 12 Jan Vertonghen's KPV. Salt and Kepa, big up. Yeah, there's look at how many there are. Tons of you in here. I won't read you all out. I'll be here all day. Yeah, Jack Patmore. I know if you're in here watching, you wind up merchant. Leave Ian again. I know you're on the wind up. Change name. I might give a prize to the best name as well, by the way. The best name. Yeah. Dan G's in here. We've got Steve. Strasbourg's finest is here. I'll be intrigued. If any of you finish above me, I'll show you my team now. This is my team because this is the winning team, by the way. Here we go. So I've gone Ramsdale. I'll do it slowly. I've gone Ramsdale. Defensive Short, Estupinan and Alexander-Arnold. Then a Matoma, Madison, Enciso, Salah and Mbuemo. And Mbuemo's a sneaky one if you want to put him in. And up top, Darwin Núñez, and the robot. And my bench of Areola, Kabore, Semenyo, and Bayer. There you go. That's me. I'm in. Yeah, see, there you go. That's the team. You cannot put a scum player in. I can, because I'm trying to think about it. I might change it all about, but the problem is Arsenal. I think Ramsdale's going to do all right this season. I have a no Arsenal rule. A friend of mine, actually, he's a Chelsea fan, and what he does a Chelsea past and present. He tries to build a Chelsea past and present fantasy team. So he has he'll have like Nathan Ake in the team. He'll have Anya, who's just joined Forest. I believe it's Forest, and he's gonna try and build a Chelsea past and present team, which is quite an interesting take. I mean, he's gonna finish dead last. I mean, but I respect the effort. I'm not sure who I'm going to debate on. So guys, as I said, if you want to join the membership, to join it, and we'll up that up to £60 gift card, Amazon gift card at the end for the winner. Why not? Freebie, get involved. Join the little button there in the membership. Okay, we've got about 20 minutes into it, and we've talked about FPL. But this is kind of what I like these shows, because I can just sort of waffle on and chat about stuff. Start calling me Mr. Box Office when I waffle. Love him to bits. Big up, Alex. Hope you're doing well, mate. And also, guys, obviously, if we get to, I'm going to push the likes up even more. I want us to get more likes than what we've got. We're up to 49 likes. Okay, guys, if we get to 75 likes now, up to 75 likes, I'll put the link in the chat, and you can come on, and I'll just do a sort of one in, one out kind of thing. So we'll just keep. You can go and ask me personally a question. How about that? Bit of a question time. So I'll put the link in the chat if we get to 75 likes. We're at 53 right now. So let's get straight to 75 likes, and I'll put the link in the chat, and we'll do a bit of rotation, and you can just ask me a few questions and stuff. And I'll try and see if any guests want to come on as well. Just send me a message, and you're welcome on the show. So let's see. Let me see. Is anyone anything? Nothing new is happening. Let's have a look. Oh, Barry's just sent me his team. Should we read out Barry's team? Barry. Honestly, here we go. Should we read out Barry's team? Because he's kindly sent it to me. If you guys have my number, send me your SPL teams, and I'll read them out if you want me to. Honestly, I'm predicting Barry finishing in the bottom half easy. He's gone Nick Pope, Fabian Schär, Virgil van Dijk, Emerson Royale, Estupinan, Grealish, Rodri, Salah, Basuma, Haaland, and Darwin Núñez, and a bench of Sanchez, who I'm believing is now going to move to Chelsea. So that's not a bad shout, putting Sanchez on the bench. Shaw on the bench, Gross, and more. Where are your points coming from? What, Haaland and Salah? I mean, you could argue the same as me, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. Barry, you've had a stinker. I think that's a stinker of a name. If you want me to read, if you've got my number, send me a message, send me a text, and I'll read it out on stream. Yeah. Team name Postecoglou. I'm shocked. Emerson, Barry's he's on a wind up. He's put Emerson Royale. Third best player, I heard. Third best player last season for Spurs. Work that one out. If 14 more likes, guys, and I'll put the link in the chat, and you can ask me away any questions you like. Let's move on quickly. Harry Kane. I thought we all thought there was a deadline at midnight. Doesn't look like it. For me, are we going to accept it? I put a thing up on my Instagram last night on is he staying or is he leaving? And the majority of you guys think he's leaving. Few people are still sticking out there, and I respect the guys that stick it out there. I respect the guys that stick it out there. You want Harry Kane to stay, but let's be honest. If he doesn't want to stay, do I want him to stay? No. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you think Harry Kane is genuinely staying now? I think if he plays against Brentford, I believe that. If he plays against Brentford, he's staying. 8 days. It's the 8 days to go to work out what's going on with Harry Kane. Sorry. But also, with Harry Kane, with the Harry Kane saga that's going on, we've also signed some players. Alejo Velez He's on his way in from Rosario Central, and he'll probably be landing very shortly, I'm assuming, as Mickey van der Ven. Now, are we going to be getting an announcement today when Van der Ven is signed for Tottenham? I hope so. I definitely hope so. And I really do want. I was one of those that championed Mickey van der Ven to come. Everyone was saying, no, Tapsoba's the better one. Van der Ven's the cheap option. I think, do you know what? The cheap options now in my vocabulary or my phrases I can't stand in football. For me, I think it's the most irritating line ever, personally. The cheap option. No, maybe Van der Ven is the right option. The cheap option line is so annoying. It just annoys me. Is anyone else sort of get really irritated with the cheap option line? For me, I just sit back and go, no, the right option is who we should be getting at. I don't care if a player's 5 million and 50 million pounds. If they're the right player and they're the right option for us, that's who we should. Yeah, good morning, Adrian. I hope you're well, mate. I made Son captain because that's a logical. I made Son captain because that's a logical choice. Really? You've put Son as your captain of FPL? God, man. Anyone that's not captain Erling Haaland is a madman, I think. But do people think Haaland's going to go and get the same sort of numbers this year? And by the way, I'll be back in third. You might still be able to hear me. I'm just going to put my lights on because it's really dark back here. Because the lights. I'm going to open some window here and let some light back in it. It's really dark. That's better. I don't know what happened. It's just so dark. Sorry, I'm back. That's a bit better. It's a bit bright. I was just looking at it. I was going, it's first thing in the morning. It's pitch black in my flat. It's because of where I live. I live in a flat that's like an inside flat. So I get all the sunlight in front of me, but the back, it's just looking at another person's flat. So there's no sunlight. So always in the back of my flat, it's really dark, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Morning, Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing well. How are you doing, Robbie? Go over and subscribe to Robbie. One of the nicest lads have one. And listen, as I said, if we get another 12 more likes, we'll be at 75, and I'll put the link in. And if you guys want to come on, anyone wants to come on and have a little chat, I think it's about 10 or so more likes now. So go and smash the like button. Big up, Tigara. Hope you're doing well. I think Harry Kane goes to Bayern. Yeah, I do as well. I see that as well, mate. Perchy, do you think Kane stays? He'd want you as a Perchy. Do you think if Kane stays, he'd want you as a supporter of the club? What does that mean, Rob? Are you going to be the twat in the chat today? Perchy, do you think if Kane stays, Kane would want me as a supporter? Well, I'll be honest. There's a picture of Harry Kane right there in my flat. There's a picture of Harry Kane right there in a flat. Round the corner and round there. I'm one of Harry Kane's biggest supporters, my friend. But I also support Tottenham Hotspur. I said a little bit more. I will support Tottenham before Kane was here and after Harry Kane. Don't be the twat in the chat, my friend. Don't be that guy. I'm just saying. Don't be that guy. Listen, I don't understand what you mean by it. What if he plays in the show? Oh, someone's saying that something's been confirmed. Have we announced something? Have the club announced something? Tottenham have signed Ashley Phillips. We have announced Ashley Phillips. See, I love it. This is a second one. Ashley Phillips has signed for Tottenham Hotspur. See, we've got a bomber today. Ashley Phillips, welcome to Tottenham. Yeah, see, 2 and 2. I got Sullivan and I got Ashley Phillips. So, guys, let's talk Ashley Phillips. That was a bit of a quick one this morning. I'm assuming today was the day when the clause was to be announced. So let me see. Have they announced? Has he put any quotes up? I'll read the quotes out if they come up. Wait, referring to your comment when you said he doesn't want to stay, you don't want him at the club. No, Rob, my point being with that, mate, my point with that was if Kane is checked out at Tottenham mentally, doesn't want to be here, he wants to move on. For me, I don't want him. I want him to move on for his own sake and our sake. I don't want a player that basically doesn't want to be here playing another year, because I feel that would be, it just doesn't make sense to me. When a player actively wants to go, you don't keep a hold of him, because what you've got to remember, Rob, this is one thing, especially with Harry Kane. Hear me out. This is my theory. He doesn't sign a contract, but he stays for another year. The last 3 months of his Spurs career, he could, I'm not saying down tools, that's not what I mean, but I could feel that he would go and be less committed. Not work ethic. I think Harry Kane is, ethics-wise, work ethic-wise, is one of them up there, up the top with everyone else. But he won't go in for challenges because he doesn't want to get injured. So I sit back and go, nah, I don't want that. I want someone fully working at it from point 1 to point 2. But that's opinions, isn't it? And Ben, that's exactly, it would be gross negligence to let him go on a free. I think that'd be it would be crazy for us to do that. Has Ashley Phillips put any quotes up? So I'm going to mute myself just so it doesn't echo, but I just want to watch this. Sorry, I just muted because I wasn't sure if there was any copyrighted music, so I didn't want to. I'm waiting I think the club put something up here. So we signed another player. Phillips is in. Van de Ven tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Let's read it out. Let's see what the club have put on the app. I think they've put it up. Ashley Phillips signs on Blackburn. Okay, here we go. We're delighted to announce the signing of Ashley Phillips on Blackburn Rovers. The centre-back signed the club with a deal up to 2028, so a 5-year deal. Ashley, 18, started his youth career in National League Kirchhoff Ashton before joining Blackburn at the age of 12 in 2017. The defender quickly progressed through the Rovers Academy, featuring regularly for the under-18s, and just at 15 at the age of 15, made the under-23s team debut in that season. In 21-22 season, he went out and made 11 appearances in Premier League 2, which is the academy team, and spent most of the campaign training with the first team, so making the bench for the FA Cup third round against Wigan. Ashley's first team debut in the Carabao was fourth round against Hartlepool, and it became the fourth youngest player in Blackburn's history at the age of 17 years and 45 days, and made championship debut against West Bromwich Albion a few days later. The centre-back went on to make 8 first-team appearances in the league and a further 6 in the cup competitions last term, with the further recognition coming to the end of the 22-23 season, when he was awarded the LFE Championship Apprentice of the Season. On the international stage, Ashley has represented England's under-17s, under-19s level, receiving the captaining the under-18s against Norway in the International Tournament of Lisbon 2023. That is what it says. So Ashley Phillips, welcome to Tottenham. Now, love that. And this is one of those here, you're going to hear here, I've got to praise Daniel Levy for what he done there. We all got angry, by the way, a week ago when it fell through because they wanted 9 million quid when we knew that there was a clause for 2. For me, I have no problem with us doing that. That's sensible. You got to bear in mind that's 7 million quid. That could be the difference maker. Us signing a centre half that we want and not. Do you know what I mean? That could be the difference of us signing Van de Ven or not because of the way that we operate. It shouldn't do, but it's the way we operate. We got him on a free. I don't have any issues letting him. Oh, you're about Harry Kane? Yeah, but David. So you're telling me from that theory, David, from that logic, if he signs for Chelsea next season, you'd be happy to let him go. Just my thoughts. That's where that's what happened before. I wonder if Kane has been pissed off with all the German media, potentially, Carl, and the way that he's gone about it. If Kane has always been very critical of the media, of the media anyway. Yeah, listen, Carl, that's the thing. Maybe I think they haven't gone about it the right way. I think they're used to doing that and bullying teams. I think they've met their match. Villiers, Phillips, and Van de Ven, they all come like London bus. Yeah, exactly. We're going to have Villiers signing probably today. Van de Ven will probably get announced tomorrow. 1 second. I'm just sending the link out to someone. We're going to get a new guest that's not been on the show. And guys, we're up here. I'm going to put the link in the chat. So big up. Who's this? Spurs, I think. Oh gosh, who's done this? Oh my days. Who is Perchbot? Who is Perch? Oh, I know who it is. I know who Perchbot is. Oh dear. Oh dear. Why have you changed it to Perchbot? I prefer Perchy's burner account. Perchbot. I didn't. That's incredible. That's brilliant. What do I do if I finish bottom of the fantasy league? How about this stinging out? If you finish bottom of the league, I will gift you. I'll gift you a subscription. If you finish bottom off, I'll gift you a membership or something. Why not? Why not? I'll give you a membership. I'm just sorting out with One second, don't know. I'm just sorting this out. Question. I'm trying to get. I think if everyone's had Jay on, I'm just trying to get him on. He's just messaged me to ask if he can come on, so I'm just sorting that out. I'll put the link in the chat. Mia, will there be outgoings for any more incomings? No, I think the incomings are coming in now, and the outgoings are going to happen between the start of the season and the end, in my opinion. I think when we say about ripping up contracts, I think that's going to happen nearer the 1st of September, personally. I think now we're going to get Valise in. Phillips is signed already. Van der Ven, maybe another. But that'll be interesting. Does anyone want to come on and ask me a question live on stream? Obviously, guys, I'm going to kind of politely rotate it. So I'm going to try and keep it so only one or two are on stream at the same time. So, yeah, if you want to come on. But also, remember, camera must be on. Camera must be on. And also, guys, I just want to let you know that we are closing in on the 1,600, which would mean that I will be giving away a shirt of your choice with a name on the back of your choice. We are at 1,536, which my quick calculations is 64 subscribers away. We're 64 subscribers away from getting to 1,600, and I will gift a shirt of your choice, club of your choice, player of your choice, or your name or whatever. Or if you want to get like this man that's just about to come on, if you want to go and get an Emerson 12 shirt because you're an absolute madman. How you doing, Barry? How you doing, mate?
No madmen here, mate. Just ballers. Just ballers.
No, I would call you a baller until I saw your cricketing ability. And for me, that doesn't watch cricket, I mean, it's absolutely shambles. Has anyone gone over to, by the way, the Notting Hill, Green?
Yeah, they have. There's been one more subscriber.
Go and subscribe to him, man. Go over there and
I can't believe we literally hijacked Henry's stream talking about cricket last night.
So funny. I was like, come on. The fact is it was just comical. It's so funny, so funny. Let me see what we got. City are going to be unstoppable again. Yeah, agreed. I mean, I've been in group chats of people trying to do mental gymnastics to try and tell me that Man City won't win the league again. I don't understand what part of it. People don't see it.
Henry was saying yesterday there's like some charity shield, shield curse or something. If City win tomorrow, they're not going to win anything or something. So yeah.
Oh dear, the charity shield curse. Yeah, okay. If Man City are the sort of team that will go and win that, they'll win the Super Cup, they'll win the FA Cup, the League Cup, and the Premier League. And then the Champions League. There's no other trophies they're in, are they? They're in 6 trophies this season.
Wasn't it 7 they could win this year?
So wait, so we've got they're in the Community Shield.
Yeah.
Super Cup.
Yeah.
Premier League.
Yeah.
FA Cup.
Yeah.
Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
Champions League. 6.
Are they not in the like Club World Cup or something?
Sorry, 7. Yeah, they're in the Club World Cup as well. So 7. Yeah, you're right, 7. Yeah. Imagine that though. Imagine, like I know. You could argue like the things like the Super Cup and the Charity Shields are all, and even the FIFA World Cup, the Club World Cup, they're all kind of a bit friendly-ish in a sense. But even so, imagine coming at the end of the season with 7 trophies like that. Only Harry Kane could never. Sorry, I'm joking. I'm joking in the chat. It was just a joke. Gosh, I'm going to get cancelled for it. Phillips just announced on Spurs. So, yeah, Danny, I just read it out. Fair play. Do you know what? Roll them in now. So we're getting the sort of spiral now of signings. It's quite interesting though, because normally you get this one came out of the blue, because normally Romano gets it like a bit before, but I have a feeling this was already done. This was already done, and it had to just be announced as of today because of the £2 million clause, I'm assuming.
Yeah. They tried to be greedy. They didn't know who they were dealing with, and they said, "Okay, we'll just wait. We'll wait until the deadline, and then we'll pay £2 million."
Don't you find it very weird from Blackburn, because they can't have been stupid and gone, "Oh, I didn't know about that." Like, how would we have known and they not known? So like they would have had to put that clause in.
We didn't know how many players could go out on loan purchase, so we're not
true.
Really
True. But my point being is they must have had an understanding of it to then up the price. Unless the only reason they upped the price was because they had other clubs knocking at the door. That could only be the only reason they went, well, by the way, we've just had an offer from Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, blah 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 blah. So we want £9 million, and we've gone, no. This kid's already agreed terms with us. We're fine. We'll wait it out.
But do you think, Percy, just not kind of playing devil's advocate, right? So I know you've got the prestige of all the other clubs like a Man United or a Liverpool or something like that, right? Do you think that Phillips has probably gone, well, Tottenham don't have any defenders. I'm more likely to get a game, as well as probably saying, well, the training ground and the stadium looks nice.
Well, big up, Adrian. How you doing, mate? I'll grab you in just 2 seconds. I'll try and say. I think do you know what? I think you've got a good point here. I think at the moment we're actually in a position right now where if you are a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old, I think we're in a good position where you go, do you know what? Spurs isn't a bad idea, because you're right. Realistically, where is Phillips going to be? He's probably 4th choice centre half now, maybe 5th. Couple of injuries, and this man's he'll be on the bench.
Yeah,
he'll be getting chances. So I think it's a good bit of business. I'm really excited by the way, from everyone that I know is talking about it. Really excited by this lad. I've heard so many good things, and when I hear people and I see people in chats on streams and people on streams and stuff, they go, "Oh my God, blah, blah, it's another cheap buy." No, it's not. It's a smart buy. Look what got announced last night as well, that Chelsea are very much closing in on a Brazilian a youngster, 19, 20-year-old. No one calls them a cheap buy. Chelsea have gone out and done it and bought kids at 18, 19, 20, 21 all across Europe, all across South America. They've got a plan of action. That's what they want to do. They want to bulk up their academy prospects and then offload them on. Adrian, I'll bring you in. You're going up and down. I'm not sure where you're going. I don't know if you're like on a rocking chair or something. It's quite interesting. How are you doing, mate? Welcome to the show.
I'm fine, thank you. No, I'm just adjusting. I've got my laptop on a tray on my knees.
Okay. Fair enough. What are your thoughts? Ashley Phillips has been announced. Van der Ven's probably going to get announced.
I don't go with all the knockers on the new signings. If you're buying players that are with potential, I mean, we don't know if they're going to be huge successes or not. But if you buy a player with potential and he's 15 to 20 mil, even if he eventually just makes it into a squad and earns out an average player, worst case scenario, you'll get your money back. Bit of a risk when you start playing 30s and 35s and 40s.
Of course.
Which even makes me balk a bit because I'm old school, you know. I think even paying that amount of money for Van der Ven, he looks good, but he's a work in progress, isn't he? And you look at our left-hand side, I mean, like, I'm confident about new season, the signings we've got, but a lot of players are work in progress. I mean, you've got Van der Ven, you've got Udogie. If Solomon plays on the left, he's work in progress, isn't he?
Yeah.
So on the right-hand side, if Spence stays, he's a work in progress. Emerson upped his game last year and looks a better prospect now, but you still need to see him for a full season. Porro, defensively inept.
Yep.
Potential's there, you can see it, but he's still a work in progress. So Sarr, I love him. What I've seen in him, I think he's excellent, but he's still a work in progress. Having said that, though, even with Udogie and Van der Vel, they can't perform worse than the defenders we've had last year and concede 63 goals. So, I'm looking for us to do quite well this season. I mean, European spots come up to 8th. So, I think we could. 8th would be Conference League. We don't want that, though, do we? Let's be fair. We want Europa Leagues. We want 6th or 7th minimum. I still think we can get 5th. Because when I'm looking at the other teams there, Arsenal and Man City have got the most solid and squads there. They're practiced. They've done it through the season. They're settled, aren't they? Liverpool got new players. We've got new players. Chelsea had a right. Potter's got to get them players to gel into a team. So Newcastle, they're involved in Europe. We've only got a game once every week. So I'm not bothered about the fixture congestion, So anyway, to get back onto the transfer window, because I'm waffling on a bit here. Yeah, Ashley Phillips, 6'2". If anyone's watched his video, the kid is a baller. And like the Les who's come in, it's one of those signings. When Kulusevski come in, if you told everyone he was 21, the guy's a strapping lad, isn't he, right? You wouldn't have thought he was 21. These players we're bringing in, they're men before their times, if you know what I mean. They are men, right? Already they are men. So, Ashley Phillips, all I'd say to anyone listening in here, go and watch the video. The kid, a baller. He is a baller. And people say, bring him in as backup. Fair enough. I want to see him play this season. I rate him that highly. I want to see him play.
I agree. And listen, do you know what? It's a great point. And Soren, welcome to the stream. I'll get your opinion just in 2 seconds, definitely on this. For me, I want to see the likes now. Look, realistically, we're only going to need 4 centre halves. 2 people that start, 2 people that you cover, and maybe you have one other that just is just there, maybe coming through the academy. So I want to see Romero, Van der Ven, and then you look at who's the next one. Maybe we sign another one. And then you've got the likes of Ashley Phillips and one other. That's your 5 centre halves for the season. I'd like that. I would rather see the likes of Ashley Phillips play next season than the likes of Dyer, Sanchez, Tanganga. These players that have let us down over so many years. Let's start bleeding these youngsters through. And Soren, what are your thoughts? Ashley Phillips announced. It looks like Van der Ven's on his way. What are your thoughts, mate?
I said last night, and I've said it, I'm starting to get a bit excited about this team. Maybe not, the first half of this season, but you kind of look and think, are we actually starting to build something? Are we really starting to build something? A lot of young players coming in, and the difference is now, the players that we seem to be signing, it's almost as if we've actually done some work to see whether they're the right players. That's the difference that we're seeing now. It's not just we'll take a punt on him because he's cheap, or we'll take a punt on him because he's cheap. They're all players that we're kind of building a team that's going to be together for a long time. We could be sat here in 5 years' time saying, why aren't we haven't signed anybody for 3 windows or something stupid like that, because we've done it all now. But I'm excited. And all these people that keep going on about, we a week ago, can't, but Levy's an absolute blah blah because he hasn't signed Phillips for the, we haven't put the extra money in. All of a sudden we've got him cheap. Solomon, we've got him on a free.
Soren, he's a great point. You hit the nail on the head. I have to stay consistent. I want change in this football club. I do, but I also have to accept and go, do you know what? The Ashley Phillips move, correct decision. Why would you? It makes no difference if we signed him a week ago for £6 million,
exactly,
or buying him a week later for 2. That's the one. The ones you get annoyed about are the likes of Van der Ven taking nearly a month to get over the line. That's where you get annoyed at. Why is that taking so long? However, I put that
might not be from our side though.
I was just about to say that. My theory with Van de Ven was they wouldn't let it accept it until they've got their replacement. Their replacement signed yesterday, and now Van de Ven's on a plane to Spurs. So I think it's all a snowball effect. And something Barry said earlier was just said that. Do you know? I just for me, I want to be excited. I'm excited. I'm starting to get excited with this window. And listen, the likes of an Ashley Phillips, these are the deals we should be doing. As a football club, I've always said, and people, when I always hear people go, "Oh, but it's a cheap youngster." No, we should be signing youngsters like this. That's a sustainable football club do. But what we need to do is signing first team players. You buy both.
Yeah, but Perchy, it's only a couple of months ago we had a great part of the fan base moaning that we're not signing these young prospects. Agreed. So now we're doing it. It's the wrong thing again.
Yeah.
Where do you get? How can everything not be right at the same time when everything's wrong and blah blah blah? It don't make sense to me. You've got all the haters that are saying Daniel Levy is the worst thing in the world. Now he's starting to kind of.
I mean, let's be fair. Sorry, he is. Let's be fair, he is.
But what I'm saying is, though, it looks like there's a little bit of a change. We seem to be signing. I mean, the young Argentinian striker, he looks good. We've got Van de Ven in, hopefully. We've got Ashley Phillips in now. It's all starting to roll a little bit. And you kind of think it's not just looking at now, it's looking at the future. And you kind of hope that these players that we're buying aren't necessarily to sell in a couple of years. That's the hope. That we do keep them and we build something and we get to that point where we kind of wanted to be when we brought Conte in, where it was one or two more players and we're, let's say it, title challenging or whatever.
No, and Barry, I'll bring you in. It's something you mentioned earlier. I was trying to get it out. I couldn't get it out. But the one you said is about these youngsters coming to Tottenham now. But if we're going down this philosophy of going young, building, why wouldn't you? I always say this, and I said the problem at Spurs has always been a rite of passage. It never felt to me in the last 4, maybe 5 years, there was never a rite of passage for the young 16-year-old in the under 18s playing. You never went, do you know what? This kid has got a rite of passage to be playing where Harry Kane's playing. I never felt it because I felt youngsters never really got an opportunity. And when they did, they were just thrown into the Lions den. And then we've all gone, oh, well, he's crap because this, that, and the other. For me, I feel there's a rite of passage happening. And I hope, whatever my opinions on the ownership of this football club, that goes aside. I want us to build for the future. I want to build now, but this is the right time to do it. Let's get rid of the sort of 30-year-olds, 31-year-olds. Get rid of the older players slowly. Listen, I'm not saying right now. I mean, you can't go and get rid of 7 or 8 players in 1 minute. It doesn't work like that. It takes time to start getting players, weeding out the dead wood. Start doing that, but bleeding these youngsters through. For example, I'll give you an example. If Velez gets an opportunity in a Carabao Cup game and he goes and scores a hat-trick, just saying, I'm not saying it will happen, but just say we play Charlton we're playing Charlton in a Carabao Cup game and we win 3-0 because he scored a hat-trick. Then that for me means that he needs a right. He's earned a right to get a chance in the first team. If you're gonna start winning games like that in the Carabao Cup, you build up and you work your right. Very similar to how Harry Kane did it in the Europa League. I mean, at that time, we were in the Europa League and we did start bleeding the likes of Harry Kane through it. That's where he made his name in the Europa League. For me, I want to see more of it. If Velez does steps and starts well, I want to start seeing him more. Phillips is another example. Again, another one. I want to see more of these youngsters.
Perchy, there's a problem because I've watched academy football games at the stadium. And the games are not competitive. They're trying to restructure it now into 2 leagues for next season. The problem is it's not competitive. And the proof of that is, and why players don't come from, and we've had Kane, we've had Skip, then you go back to he who not should be mentioned, Sol Campbell, really, who've come through. Well, with the Premier League, I think the stats say that 3% of Premier League academy players make it through to become a regular first-team squad member.
Yeah.
So, and you can pretty well guarantee that most of them academy players, right, come from mid-table teams, lower teams, because they have no choice but to play their youngsters. You get the odd one. I mean, look at City. They let Sancho go, didn't they? I like Foden, who's come through for them. I mean, Liverpool now, Curtis Jones, I think, is a good player, right? But there's very few there's very few come through. And the reason is it's not competitive. When you watch these games, it's as if no one wants to get stuck in and hurt themselves.
Yeah.
They're all picked by coaches because they look skillful and got a skill set and all that. And you watch these. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've watched a few games. Scarlett stood out. Harvey White stood out. The first academy game we played was before the stadium opened. We beat Southampton 3-1. Harvey White and Skip played. They both stood out.
Yeah.
Right? J. Neil Bennett, he scored the first goal at the stadium. Right?
But I mean, I remember that. I was there.
Yeah. So, but like these games, they're just somehow they've got to beef them up. I mean, I'd like to see the academy teams play, say, at the training ground, play the odd non-league side. Give them a battle, you know what I mean? Give them a fight and, have them play against men.
What I would say, Adrian, and just on that touching, and Daryl, I'll just pick this up in 2 seconds, mate. Big up to you. What I would say, what I want us to do, start doing more though, is look at what Chelsea do. Chelsea aren't afraid to let a 21-year-old go, a 22-year-old go. Where I say I want us to start signing players, yes, I do. I want us to go out there and start buying these youngsters, developing them. But I also want us to not be scared to also sell them at 21, 22. Chelsea do it brilliantly. What Chelsea do is they go, well, do you know what? We've got this amount of players, but this lot are going to probably make it into the first team. And this lot, however, they'll still make it. They're still Premier League standard, but they're not going to make it at Chelsea. But they still make good money on these players. Yeah,
the problem is managers of top clubs are frightened to blood youngsters because if the game goes wrong, they take an awful lot of stand. If they lose the game, you know what the Spurs fan base is, right? It doesn't take much to set
Adrian, you have to look at the Premier League and how many Chelsea youngsters have been bled through it. Loads. And Man City, by the way. Chelsea and Man City are the good examples of it. Lavia, and again, I mean, if we're going to be hypothetical, I mean, they're in the Championship, but you know what I mean. Lavia, Livramento, Guehi. I mean, there's so many examples that you could argue with it. And listen, I want to be a team that is proactive. Listen, if, for example, if someone like, I'll use Ashley Phillips as an example. I think he's going to be really good, but I'll use him as an example. If after 2-3 years we go, he's great, he's a good player, but he just can't get into our first team. I want us to be bold enough to go, do you know what? We're going to sell him. And we're going to sell him for £30 million to Crystal Palace. Just use that as an example. And we have a buyback clause on it where we can buy him back for 40 million quid over in 2 years. Start being proactive. Look at the Man City and Chelsea molds where they go and get young players in. And if they don't make the first team by 2021, by 22, they sell them at Premier League standard. And then they have buyback clauses on them. Start acting like a club. And before I carry on, guys, just like Darryl, what I'm saying about nothing has changed, by the way, when we talk about nothing has actually changed in the way that on our transfer policy. What I'm saying is the only thing I'm saying is I'm liking at the moment is we are buying young hot prospects, high wonder kids that can potentially become good. I want to see more of that. I'm going to bring on another guest. We've got Jay on in the background. Big up, Jay. How you doing, my friend? Welcome. It's your birthday today, by the way. So happy birthday to you.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday to you. How are you doing, sir?
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay. Have you had a present from Daniel? Have you had a present from Daniel?
Yeah, he sent me a Cody Rhodes. He sent me a Cody Rhodes little thing. So I'm very appreciative, Daniel. Thank you very much for all the positive PR I've given him over the years. You know, so Jay, I was just listening to some of what you guys are saying, and I think you're all kind of right in terms of the approach, because it's like you have to look at it from both sides. Like, if people have Stockholm syndrome from how the club have operated, that's okay, because some people need to see more from the club before they feel confident. On the other side, the people who are just positive and want to take everything as it comes and give it a clean slate, that's also okay. Do you know what I mean? I don't really feel like there's one way to do this. I think as long as the fans keep it contextualized, like the Raya Vicario thing is very interesting to me. I find the Raya Vicario thing very interesting, because at the end now, Ray is going to end up going for a fee that's not going to be that much higher than what we wanted to pay, right? But on the flip side, the fans would not have allowed it. Yeah, we saw how the fans were with the centre back. Yeah, if we didn't have a new goalie on that tour, the fan base would have been up. All right, listen, it wouldn't even have been better team. So the club were hamstrung in a way. They had to have you couldn't not have a keeper and a centre back. So I think for me, looking back with the benefit of hindsight, you can say, okay, Van der Ven, we had to get Van der Ven. Yeah, that was a choice. On the flip side, Raya or Vicario, we were open. And I think if you look at the price of Vicario, you also have a lot of opportunity to say, right, this is the solution for at least a year, 18 months. You can reevaluate in the market how he does. This is almost like his 1 year long audition to be the long-term Spurs.
Do you not find it interesting that if Raya does go for, say, 22 million, it's not much more than we paid for Vicario, but yet we got a cheap option?
Yeah,
it's quite comical.
Well, I think the thing is for me is that like cheap is relative. It's one of those things where it's like, let's say you've got 5 players that you want to get, and then you end up getting a cheaper person on each of the 5. I need to know then before I start being upset, is it a cheaper option or is it an alternative signing? Because those are 2 different things.
Big difference.
Exactly. So those are 2 different things. So if Vicario is an alternative, we're going to see. The thing with alternatives is like they can work really well. You look at Arsenal and City, they've done alternatives really well in the last few years. Zinchenko was an alternative to Lisandro. Do you know what I mean? Trossard was an alternative to Mudryk. So, there's there's value in there. There's value in the market. But yeah, I think I'm optimistic.
Sorry, Jay. I'll let you go. I want to say what I would say about the Raya Vicario debate. And I said this all along. I said I was annoyed that we didn't get the Raya deal over the line. But then I said, as long as we've got someone ready-made that we know we want in, our number 2 is there, done, signed, still delivered. What happened? 48 hours later, Vicario's holding the shirt. I had no problem with that, and I stand by that. When I see now people forget about the economics of football, and it does kind of wind me up because people don't realize it. Everyone now goes, well, Ray is going for 25 million quid. Well, that was what we were offering. The reason why is it's economics of football. Brentford knew that we needed a goalkeeper. Brentford put their eggs in their basket going that Spurs are desperate for a goalkeeper. We'll push them to 40 million quid. This is a goalkeeper with 1 year left on his contract, by the way. They didn't realise Spurs, under the radar, had Vicario getting done. For me, I haven't got a problem. For me, I haven't got an issue with that. I look back and go, do you know what? That's how we should be operating. Any other football club would have done that. Man City would have done it. Maybe not at that level, maybe at the level a little bit higher. But Man City do it all the time. If, for example, you would have known 100% they'd have had someone else under the radar if Vardy doesn't happen. And they'd have had someone straight away gone, boom, fine, we're not signing him because we're not going to get into a battle with you. We're signing this guy. All clubs do it. So I had no problem. When I see now people going, that he's now going for 25 million quid. So yeah, okay, fine. But everyone would have completely moaned about it and gone apoplectic if we'd gone on pre-season and completed pre-season without signing a goalkeeper. I'm just saying.
I think as well, Perchy, one thing is that people have to understand Forster being injured maybe forced our hand as well. Because maybe if Forster's fit, the club takes the opportunity to wait a little bit further. But you also have to look at it on the other side. Vicario was also wanted by Bayern, wanted by a number of other teams, wanted by Inter. Yeah. Who says that if we hadn't bought Vicario at that precise moment, he wouldn't have gone to Inter to replace Onana?
Inter wanted to use him to replace Onana.
Bayern wanted him. Brighton liked him earlier in the year. So, it's one of those signings where, for me, it's one of the. I think you can use Bizuma as a good example, and I think what I want to reference with the Bizuma thing is more like when you've seen a player more with your own eyes, you're willing to give him more leniency as to how he performs when he comes in. So because a number of people have seen Bizuma in the Premier League play for Brighton, they know what he's capable of. So he comes in, he has a difficult first year, and everyone's still got a lot of time for him. Everybody's still, happy to give him time. On the flip side, if you brought the same player in from a foreign country who didn't have the perceptional goodwill from the number of appearances that he'd seen, and he'd had the same. In fact, Lo Celso is a great example. Lo Celso got written off way more than Bazuma, and his performances have been better than Bazuma's for Tottenham Hotspur. It's not a very high bar, but the same with Ndombele. Again, better than Bazuma. Yeah, not good. Yeah, not good, but that's what I'm trying to say. So with this team now and with the manager, you've got to give everybody time. You know, you got to give Vicario time. You got to give the manager time. You got to give the team time to understand, set it up. Who's new? Some players get a second year bounce. Absolutely. The thing is when you buy a player for 5-6 years on a contract, you're basically trusting them to come good in that period and maintain a level of performance. It's not necessarily saying straight away from day dot they're going to be perfect. But it's just, it's the Harry situation, I think, is a bit of a noose around the neck of the club. I think without that and without the ticket prices increase, Spurs have had a good off season. Like, as in, if you're looking at what the club could have done to support a brand new manager, they've done all right. It's not been terrible, bar the ticket prices.
I think I'll be honest though. Pre-season has been an absolute shambles. I will stand by that. Pre-season.
The thing is like, how much of that is beyond the club's control versus?
Well, the club would have known about the weather in Southeast Asia at this time of the year. The club would have known that.
Yeah, but the thing is like acts of God are acts of God. That's why they're called acts of God. You see what I mean? So for me, I'm not going to blame the club for an act of God.
No, I get that. But are we saying that then we couldn't have got another game in between when we landed back to when we played
Orient, didn't we?
Yeah, but that was we didn't play, that was the under 23s.
Yeah,
I believe.
Well, I think you're both right. I mean, I'm not saying that we couldn't have done more. I'm merely saying that, like, when I'm looking at what was in the club's control, like as in what's in the club's control
everything was in their control, Jay.
No, but
before planning.
I'm not having that. The thing is that
the pre-season tour was a jet lag induced shambles, right? With no consideration of players' welfare.
Adrian, we weren't saying this last year when we went to South Korea. That was all fine because.
Sorry. I'm going to sit on the fence here. I'm going to have splinters up my arm.
To be honest, last year.
You can't blame the club for the acts of God. I agree with that. The one thing I would say, though, the only one thing is I didn't like the fact that we flew to 3 different countries.
Yeah.
Personally, that's my personal opinion. Listen, I'll sit on the fence. For me, I would have rather gone to Australia and gone, we're going to stay in Australia and our pre-season is going to be in. And if we have to, we might do dots around. So we might go and start at Perth, go to Brisbane, go to Melbourne, Sydney, whatever. And you get the picture. If we're going to do that, if we're going to stay in one country and we're going to do a tour of a country and maybe play like Australian teams, other teams that are playing out there and so on and so on. For me, the issue I had with pre-season was we played one game in Australia, then flew to Thailand, then flew to Singapore. And it was just like, I sit back and go, the club is quite... and before this, I think I find it quite hypocritical when the club talk about all this carbon offset and all this lot. You flew all the way to the other side of the world and flew to 3 different countries. It's like, for me, if we're going to start sitting there and lecture about carbon offset when the club do all this amazing stuff, by the way, the club does amazing stuff when it comes to that. You surely flying to the other side of the world and then
Perchy, my argument is, right, when the transfer window opens, you've got 11 weeks, nearly 3 months to get deals done. Now, what happens in that period, what we've had at this particular time, you had players away on international duty. That shouldn't have stopped the squad with youngsters going out on tour and the international players meeting up later. You would have given younger players game time and got games out your belt. I've always believed that the squad should be back at the training ground to have a month with the coach before pre-season. Get them really grounded. Now, I'm going to the game tomorrow. And then what? A few days before the season, we fly out to Barcelona. Our preparation's been crap. Now, I hope the club, it has been a commercial exercise to promote the club brand. Fair enough. No arguments with that at all, promoting the club abroad. But you know, a lot that they didn't put enough thought into this tour about players' welfare as well. How are you supposed to, and as a coach supposed to judge a player? You've stepped off a plane in Australia and you're virtually playing a game the next day or the day after that, and you're still jet lagged, right?
Yeah,
and then once you've got the physical, you've expended that energy anyway, and it might not be so long to go to Thailand and Singapore, but you're still recovering from the game and everything else. And like your coach is supposed to judge players. The preseason is supposed to be preparation for the season, obviously.
Well,
Adrian, one second. I'll let you go, Jen. Just to say, I just want to pick this up, Rob. We didn't go. You're saying that we went to Thailand. We happen every season. We didn't go to Thailand last season. We went to South Korea last season.
I think you're saying that other teams go there and other teams go across the world.
Deny Spurs fans around the world the chance to watch their team. Yeah, I'm going to sound really. I'm not, and I mean this now. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I don't care. For me, no. People might take that in a bad way. I don't mean it in a bad way. I don't care because for me, pre-season is all about the players and getting the players ready for the season.
Yeah, I mean, just to throw a little bit of a clinker in here. You won't remember this. Probably Jay might not, but I'm pretty sure Barry and Adrian will. Years ago, the transfer window was open for a hell of a lot longer.
Yeah, it was open all season long.
You could buy players. So how did we manage then to get those players into the team?
Yeah,
when all of a sudden now we think, you know, we've got 2 months. Well, if we want to get those players in, let's just have a month then, or 2 weeks as a transfer window. And if you haven't got your players in then, then
let me just add on top of this because obviously from my point of view, like the thing is that obviously these tours are planned months and months in advance, right?
Yeah.
And from my point of view, looking at it, someone like Ange, you know, that's a lot of training ground. Yes, the matches are very important to see how the players are implementing it, but that's training groundwork with Ange. That is drilling, that's patterns, that's repetition, that's consistency. For me, I will never begrudge fans across the world seeing Spurs. Like me, I live in Manchester. Couple of hours on the train to go see Spurs, and even still it's difficult for me because I'm a busy guy. But like these fans across the world, like, yeah, let's go Thailand, let's go New Zealand, let's go these places. If it gets rained off, so be it. Sod's law. That's where, from my point of view, I look at it from the point of view, acts of God are that very much that. Acts of God. When the test match got rained off, I didn't see anybody blaming the ECB for putting a test in Manchester in the middle of summer. How dare you put a test in the middle of Manchester?
Jay, how about this?
You should know it rains in Manchester in the middle of summer. Why would you put it in Manchester? And that's
when it gets rained off.
Jay, you're absolutely right because they should have put it in Nottingham and not Manchester. Exactly. It would have been a different story.
Rained off, isn't that the best feeling for the cricket?
No, because
then you don't have to watch it.
It's just been rained off, and I've got.
I would have had no problem if it had been the tour had just been Thailand and Singapore. They're close together.
And Adrian, you're not wrong.
Got a game called off. You could arrange. And where's the communication with other clubs?
The thing is, for me, Adrian, it's like I'm not blaming the club excessively. I'm saying that could it have been better, perhaps. But the way I'm looking at it is that game being cancelled because it rained. Because I'm like, okay, it's unlucky. You can argue that Spurs incompetence breeds unluckiness. You can be incompetent, and then you're more unlucky as a result of that. Me personally, I'm the err on the side of, acts of God, these things happen, rather than, my God, this club is incompetent. Because the thing is that you've got to be, I'm not saying that you're saying that, Adrian. I'm just saying that you've got to be careful.
Isn't about the game being called off, Jay. Yeah. My argument's about, if we were going to go there, either just go to Australia because it's too far and play a few games there, or don't go to Australia. If you go to Singapore and Thailand, they're not that far apart by plane, no problem with that. Just like in America, you can have two states that are far bigger than this country, and people will do round-robin games there, but they're just going across the border into another state and all that. Not enough thought went into the pre-season. I hope the club have learned this lesson.
Adrian, the thing is now, football is a business. It's not just a local team anymore that locals are going to go and sit and watch. It's a worldwide business, and you've got to take these sort of tours. Had that one game not been called off for rain, we wouldn't be sat here now moaning about going to Thailand and
agreed. No, agreed.
And also,
the
guys,
other part of my
guys,
argument was players' welfare, was jet lag, and a coach trying to get the best out of his team pre-season.
But Adrian, that's where I won't swing that far to what you're saying. Listen, we do these tours every single year. That side of things is not irrelevant. I think the bit I agree in the sense of sorry. I don't think we don't complain if that match goes ahead and doesn't get rained off. I agree with that part. I think when we go over that, and when I'm seeing people in the comments. And I want to just address this quickly. This is one from Mike Dundee. The arrogance that think that Spurs is from London fans only. Not said that. But please, in the chat, guys, I'm saying this now. Do not be naive. Do not think that Spurs are only going to Southeast Asia because of fans. They're going because of money, because of our sponsor, AIA. They're not doing it because of fans all around the world. If, for example,
Can it be both, Perchy?
What's that? One second, Jay. If we were sponsored by penguins, we'd be playing in the Antarctic. I'm just saying, money counts. Why Spurs are doing it because they're getting paid to do it. That's the reason why they're doing it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but that's the same reason as last year when we went to Singapore to South Korea. That it was all about promotion of Sonny and those fans in South Korea. You know, we all thought it was fantastic because we've gone to where Sonny was from and. That was all about money. It was all about generating.
It's all about money and PR. I think people. This is the bit people don't get. Listen, if for example, I'll put another hypothetical out. If we were sponsored by IKEA, we'd be playing in Sweden.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. That's just how it works.
But Perchy, the thing is, what we need to remember is this pre-season tour, right? They would have just seen an extra 45 minutes. So really, what are they learning for that extra 45 minutes? And also, we said this last night. Van der Ven, people are going to moan about why we didn't get Van der Ven done earlier on. He would have played 90 minutes of football. We would not have learned 90 minutes of stuff. And yes, you can argue that he would have been with the squad and started building relationships. But really, I know exactly what's going to happen on Tuesday against Barcelona. Arsenal went and beat them 5-3. And they're going to be comparing the result to what Arsenal did, not where we are. And we need to realise we're not where Arsenal, Man City, and all of those clubs are. You know, we need to remember, if we're going to get smashed. No, I don't want to see us lose. But I said yesterday, I'd rather see us lose 4-3 than watch the dross that we've seen for the last 3 years. At least playing exciting football. I mean, it's going to be like that till January, right? We're probably going to have that roller coaster. We're going to have those results, 4-3s, 5-2s. It's going to be exciting. We're going to make mistakes, but come January when he's had the time, and you know, I just think that or some fans, and I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just saying some fans, just like they go the other way. Is that to praise everything, you know, to praise everything, people go the other way and they'll find anything to criticize. Anything to criticize with, you know, as like you say with the Ashley Phillips thing, right? 9 million last week. Why aren't we doing it? We've been this, we've been that. Signing for 2 million, everyone will go quiet again. So it's just about having a bit of balance. It's about trying to understand. And look, I get it. For the people that are fully entrenched, leave you out, and fully entrenched, leave you in. I get it because you're living it and you've done it. I've got no problem with that. But there does need to be a little bit of kind of let's hold the hand up and say, yeah, he got it wrong, or yes, he got it right. Do you know what I mean? Because I think this whole Kane thing, right? I think, look, heart of hearts, it says to me that he's gone. But I said this morning, imagine Kane suddenly waking up this morning. He's seeing that he would have known about what's happening in the background anyway. Van der Ven and Romero is the future, the next Jan and Toby, let's just say. I know it's kind of going a bit far because it's that, you know, we haven't seen them play together. You're getting a nucleus of the team that's young. You've got someone that's going to come in like Maddison. Basuma looks like a different player. You've got Solomon that's exciting. You've got players that the younger players, there isn't that stigma that they've been, you know, like the Hugos, the Dyers, everyone that's been there a long time, it's all entrenched. These younger players, they play with no fear. They don't care whether you're Harry Kane or you're Valise, right? They're going to come in and they're going to give 110%.
Yep.
And I think that's where it's going to bring the club into a different light. And that's where I think people just need to realise. And I said at the start, patience is the word. Patience with the window, patience with the manager, patience with what's going on at the club. Look, we all know what's happened the last 23 years, 24 years, what have you. But if we can just, if Ange can get the fan base closer together,
agreed.
That's going to be what, that's what we need. We need to stop this,
it's the divide and conquer. We need to unite as a fan base.
Let's have an argument about something. And it's
the biggest difference will be, though, Barry, that if we go out, like you say, this year and we lose 3-2, 2-1, whatever, but it's, you've got something to talk about from the match. That's what the fans want. Yeah, we'll be down because we've lost, but it'll be, but when he ran down that side, we had the and last year we didn't have that. It was like, the football's dross and we've lost. That's as much as you could say. This year, I think Angie's going to get a lot more chance because hopefully, if the football is entertaining, the fans have got something to cling on to and to look forward to. Last year, it was, we were saying, we've won, but the football's so bad, we can only get better. But it never did get better. That's the problem.
You're right, Soren. And I've got a season ticket, right? I went to more away games because they were more enjoyable than going to the home games. Yeah. That second half, I went to the first game of the season, Southampton, and I went to the North London derby. At half time, I was so annoyed with everything that was going on. And it wasn't just on the pitch, it was everything else. I went and sat in the marketplace and I watched it on the screens, and I was just sat there I wasn't even watching it. I was just staring at the screen. And there was a guy that was sat there, and he was there, and he said, I've been a season ticket holder for 45 years. I don't know how much more I can take of this team, of everything, right? And to sit there, it was almost like heartbreaking for all those fans. I've seen 2 bloody League Cups, and I'm that upset. And this guy's seen UEFA Cups, FA Cups, everything. And he sat there in there, and I'm going, do you know what? I'd rather, like you said, we always thought it was going to get better. It never did. I'd rather go to the away games because the atmosphere, the whole build up to away games was so much better. And look, I'm not saying a drummer, because the drummer's going to be in my block. So I don't know where he's going to be in my block, but the drummer's going to be in my block. So we have to see how that's going to work. But there are things that are happening. They are trying to get today, and I know it's a big thing. I know this is a big thing. The bagel bar that was in White Hart Lane is being brought back to the new stadium from this season. Now, for a lot of people, I know for like Ben Kaufman, for example, he used to, obviously his mum couldn't bring any food in, or wasn't allowed to bring food in because of obviously everything, her beliefs and everything else. Now, are they actually doing something? And look, I'm not saying this is to forget everything that's happening. But is this turn with Ange saying that, and the whole philosophy that they're thinking, we need to get these fans on board, we need to get everyone engaged again, so that then that has more of a positive spin than the results on the pitch.
I mean, you look at it and you go back to say like when England played and they had the band, and everybody loved to hear that. Well, not everybody, I suppose, but people loved to hear that band going. And you kind of look at it, with Tottenham. Had we been successful over the last few years and we announced that we were bringing a drummer in, it'd be, that's the best thing since sliced bread. But because things are so bad off on the pitch type thing, it's just another thing for everybody to moan at. It wouldn't matter what we do at the moment. People are going to have a moan at it.
Yeah.
If it brings, it's like you say, going to a home match and going to an away match. If you've got 60,000 fans that you're waiting for them to get on your back, whereas away, you've got those fans that are kind of more there to support you. And there's a big difference. I've been to quite a few away matches, and the atmosphere is generally fantastic. It's a great set of fans away. You go to the
I prefer that. I agree.
There's only really one game that I've seen at home. I wasn't there, but the Arsenal match when we battered them season before last.
Birthday now.
Yeah, that's kind of the atmosphere you want every week in that stadium. Hopefully, if we get some entertaining football, that's what we're going to get. And it as much as people say it shouldn't affect the players, it must affect the players. If you're waiting, if you make a mistake, and all of a sudden the crowd are on your back, you don't play the same sort of football that you want to play. So. But with that, anyway, Pitchy, I'm going to have to jump. So thanks for
coming on. Always a pleasure, mate. Thank you very much.
Big up, Jay. Big up, Barry.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Soren. Just to dive on that point that Soren was making. I think
you go. I'll do my part.
I was just going to say, like, I think it's a positive time, and I think obviously it's difficult because sometimes you have different situations that come up. Like, I was very positive when the season started, and then there was no centre back, and then Kane, and it drags a little bit of your positivity down. But then you almost you want to try and be balanced. I think it's fair to criticize the club and board for decisions that they've made over the last few years. But I do feel between 2004 or 5 and 2019, we were pretty upwardly mobile. We had a lot of, we were growing, we were developing. There was more of a positivity. I think once you get to a certain point, it's much harder to get from, say, 8th to 3rd or 2nd than it is to go from 3rd/4th to 1st. Do you know what I mean? It's easier to go from there to there. So I just think I look at it now and I'm saying, can we put as many positive things in place? Like, that's why I was so critical of the board for increasing the ticket fee, because it's the amount of money they're getting is so not worth it for the negative PR and the negative will of the fans. It's like 2.5 million, £3 million. It's just not worth it for that. Obviously, to them, the club, every little helps with no, Champions League money and blah, blah, blah. So I get the club's point of view, but sometimes you can be too financially motivated. You can be run too much as a business. And I think these little decisions like the bagel bar, like statues, like drums, I think it's important to build in a newer culture, a more open culture, and I think even with the tickets and stuff, the discourse and conversation is a lot more open, So with the discourse being more open, like you've got people are very critical of it. So rather than people just taking it, there's ability to have conversation. The club might do a U-turn, they might not. But I see a lot of positivity. I see a lot of good decisions that are being made by the club. Still a couple of bad ones, but if you consider this is a brand new manager, who's coming into a squad that I think was mismanaged and is better than people think it is. Squad that finished 4th and then 8th. So the truth is you're probably somewhere in between those two positions. Like 6th. So the key thing here is, can we create a good environment for the team to do well, for Ange to be successful, and the fans do their bit? And that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to do my bit as a fan.
Right. I think that.
Not be too emotional. Do you know what I mean? Not be too up, not be too down. Just be level. I'll criticize Ange and the team as and when, but I'm a supporter of Tottenham Hotspur first and foremost.
Agreed.
I'm not
I just want to pick up this comment from Philly because it's a good point. Big up Perchy, big up Philly, mate. One of the real ones, one of the day ones that was here from when I started out. How long ago was it? 5 months ago when I started out, and now we've got over 300 in the chat. So massive shout out to you guys for watching. First of all, big up Perchy. Personally, I wouldn't slam Spurs if we lost 3-2, as at least you can see the effort. But how many times do we as fans have to sit there and watch players with their heads down? No, Philly, do you know what? You're absolutely nail on head moment. For me, last season, the bit that annoyed me is I saw a team that didn't care. I didn't see a team that cared. I want to see a team this season that cares, playing good football. Listen, I've said all along, Philly, you know this. You watch me religiously all the time, and big up to you, mate. You're a top guy. I've said all along, I have no expectation this season, as long as we don't get relegated, which we won't. I said, for me, it doesn't matter. I just want to see a cohesive football team. And I see us working, and I'll see us going through. And big up to Skinny Fat Huey. What a name, by the way. Big up to you for the super chat, the $4.99 super chat. Couldn't the sale of Kane be our Coutinho? They were relying on one player heavily before this sale. Before it resulted in Klopp using it to bring in same for Ange. Listen, I agree to a certain extent. I agree. for me, I think now it's all about building the squad, not necessarily worrying about one player. I've said it all along. I'll stand by it. I get a lot of people go, "Oh, you can't lose Harry Kane." Why not? Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. Also, yeah, guys, I just want to say before we carry on with the chat, we're going to go for another half an hour. So we're going to go for half an hour. So get your questions in. If you want to get your question, get them in the super chat. If you want to read out immediately, that would be amazing. If you could do that, that would be great. Guys, as always, 14 more memberships, and I'll up my fantasy football prize to 60. So
I made some changes, Perchy. I'm going to do about 15 changes.
Have you finally got Emerson Royale out?
No, mate. Emerson's staying, mate. I'm not having him out. He's
no
staying.
You're not going to win. An absolute L from Barry. We might as well change your name to Larry.
No, mate. No. Because I've got points all over the pitch, mate. Emerson being there is fine.
Shameless. Guys, also, we're 40 more likes away from 200, which will be a record on this channel. So there's over 280 of you still watching. So if you haven't, hit the like button. Let's get it over 200. It'll be the first time I've reached 200 likes on a stream. So that'll be amazing. And the final bit of plugging is I'm at 1,550 subscribers. So 50 subs now. By the start of the season, which is 8 days away, I will be giving away a shirt of your choice in a random giveaway. The quicker you do it, the quicker I do the giveaway. So if we get to 1,600, I'll do it.
I've got a question for you guys. No one spoke about this yet, but it's quite relevant.
Adrian,
right?
If you want to speak, you take the floor, my friend.
Right, okay. At the moment, with Van der Ven, we have 21 foreign players on our books. I'll give you them quickly. You've got Lloris, we know he's going, Vicario, Reguilon, Romero, Sanchez, Emerson, Udogie, Højbjerg, Lo Celso, Ndombele, Kulusevski, Porro, Sarr, Bentancur, Son, Solomon, Perisic, Richarlison, Basuma, and Gill. So 4 of those have got to go. And I wish people wouldn't talk about Kane money. I mean, we're Tottenham Hotspur. We should be able to go and get the players we want without talking. And that money won't be paid in full anyway. But you can go to the bank on the strength of that and borrow money to get players in. Once they know you've got the money on your books coming in, right? So 4 of those have got to go now. If Kane is sold, obviously we might bring another 1 or 2 players in. I don't see them being homegrown type because their prices are a premium. We're all right on the homegrown factor because, believe it or not, you got Forster, Austin, Whiteman, Sessegnon, Roden, Spence, Tanganga, Skip, Harvey White, Maddison, and Kane. That's 11. So if Kane goes, it's not a problem. All right.
Yeah, I was going to say before you say that, Boxing Hotspur's got a good point. Under 21 foreign players don't count as players, so the likes of Udogie, Sarr don't count in that list. Just saying.
Correct. That is correct. Actually, under 21s, and the same for the homegrown. There's slightly different rules, you know.
So how many we got to get rid of? 4.
4. Did you say?
4. If Udogie is younger, he's right. So that's 3, right? And
Sarr doesn't count either.
So
okay,
that's actually that's more comfortable. So thanks for that. Whoever put that in, I overlooked it because I have all my notebooks with all my facts and figures about.
If that means it's net 2 with Sarr and Udogie, then I say the 3 is probably going to be Lloris, Sanchez, and Ndombele.
Yeah,
agreed. I think it'll be those 3.
I would say.
Yeah. I think it's going to be those 3 that go.
And maybe Reguilon.
Yeah,
I think regular. If an offer comes in, I think we get rid of him.
The rumor is he likes the Chelsea. We don't know about Ndombele. You know, I've got a soft spot for Ndombele, but it's quicksand. You know, so
he's awful.
And I think the thing with Ndombele is I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago with Wayne Routledge and Lennon. What's happened to Ndombele is identical to that situation with Lo Celso and Ndombele because I think going into this window, Ndombele was staying and Lo Celso was going. Yeah. And then Ndombele gets injured before the first preseason game. And then Lo Celso plays and has a fantastic performance. Plays again, has a fantastic performance. Now you've got one of them has to go. The squad's too big for both of them to stay. And now Ndombele, through really no fault of his own in this window, looks like he's the one who's going to go. But that's unfortunate.
Let's be honest, Jay. Isn't it the right thing to let him go? mean, he hasn't done anything at Tottenham.
Well, the thing is, you say that he's performed better for Tottenham than Bazuma has, and I'll stand by that. This
really?
is the thing. Yeah, 100%.
Are you serious? Oh, you can't judge that. That is such a
hold on. But
narrative,
the thing is that this is what I'm trying to say. Like, everybody wants to give excuses to players that they want to give excuses to.
But there's no excuses for Basuma.
No, listen, I'm trying to say, listen, and Ndombele, goal against Sheffield United, goal on his debut against Villa. Like, people acting like he did nothing while he was here. No, he didn't play amazingly.
Okay, hear me out,
yeah,
Jay.
But what has Bazuma even done? Like, I remember Bazuma stitching up the joint at West Ham.
Look at what he was like at Brighton. That's the player we're going to get this season.
But what's he done for Tottenham Hotspur? That's my point. And she's very simply, I'm just looking at it from the point
with a manager that was
in the little he's done, Jay. He's shown more than enough. He's got dynamism. He's got energy. He can break the press. Right? Look at Ndombele.
Hear me out.
Bazuma hasn't shown.
One second, Adrian.
Ndombele doesn't track back. He loses the ball. He strolls around up front.
Listen, my thing is like, just very simply, because obviously I want Percy to go on this. I just want to say that, like, for me personally, I look at it like Ndombele, has done more for Tottenham Hotspur than Bazuma. Yeah.
Okay.
Bazuma has done more in the Premier League.
If you want to go down that ballpark, but listen, Jay, hear me out. This is how I know I'm going to win the argument, because I win it. It's my channel anyway. So it's like a dictator. Kim Jong Perch is how it works here. Whatever happens, I'm right. Doesn't matter if I said the sky is green, it's correct. But no, but on a serious note, my point being with this part is this. What I will say on this is that Basuma came into Tottenham. What do we know Basuma as? Hard-working, box-to-box midfielder in a midfield three. We knew that. That's what he did at Brighton, and he was brilliant at it. It's why everyone wanted Basuma. It's why I wanted Basuma for years. And difference is it? He was played so out of position. It would be like playing James Maddison as a number 6. No, it was. He doesn't play very well as a 2. He doesn't play well in a team where you've got to be organized, in a sense that when I say that he's limited his best attributes. No. Whoa. Where are we?
The points people are making don't make sense to me right now. Honestly, I'm exasperated right now. Like, I'll let you finish, Percy, but these points don't make any. I'm reading the comments.
They do, because I'm about to finish it. Of course they make sense.
No, they don't. They don't make sense. And Ndombele was playing Champions League football for Lyon.
Pierre Højbjerg crap.
Right, listen. Listen. Okay. Percy, can I?
My next point is Ndombele. Now, we say he's done more for us. He's done more for us.
Bro, like, Bazuma has done nothing for us.
Let me finish.
Nothing.
Jay, let me finish.
Bazuma's done nothing, bro. This is baffling me here. Like, as in, like, he's done nothing. Zero. Nothing. Nil.
So you can't see what he can do in this system.
No, that's a different question. That's not me saying what he's capable of doing. I'm saying what has he done.
I'm saying that we think Basuma's, for me, is going to be the one that you build your midfielder around. I think he's the right man for it. He'll do the job for you. He can play as a 6, he can play as your 8, and he's box-to-box one. Right. Ndombele, though, I'm going to judge Ndombele from start to finish. What has he done in a Tottenham shirt? Very little.
More than
the money we paid for him. He is being one of the worst signings, pound for pound, worst signings at this football club. Pound for pound. You can talk about the likes of Gregor Raziak and all these, but they cost them barely anything. Pound for pound was the worst signing we've had at this football club. There's no debate on that. That's fact, surely.
Right. So
can you name me a worst player that we signed for that sort of money?
Right. So listen, what I'm trying to say to you, right, is that you're judging Bazuma on what he did at Brighton. Yeah. You're not judging Ndombele. Hold on. You're not judging Ndombele on what he did at Lyon. You're judging him on what he did at Tottenham. No, but you're not judging. That's my point. No, let me finish, Percy, because the thing is, Percy, let me finish my point.
Lyon wasn't good.
You're not. Percy, your point doesn't make sense.
Spurs and he's crap.
Oh, man, the point doesn't make sense because the thing is, if you're judging Bazuma on Brighton, but judging Ndombele on Tottenham, how are you judging them on the same thing?
I'm judging him over the same year span, Jay. The same year span.
Ndombele in his first season at Tottenham was better than Bazuma in his first season at Tottenham. So that is undeniable.
Okay, hear me out. Here's a question for you. This is the question. If Ndombele is a better player, whatever the fragments you want to judge it on, whatever, I don't mind, I don't care. He played in a free-flowing team last season at Napoli. How many games did he play 90 minutes in?
Okay.
I know the facts.
You know what? Not
how
that
many games did he play 90 minutes for last season?
Mate, listen.
I'm asking. It's a question.
Oh, mate, listen. The point is, right? No, because the point is, you're moving the goalposts. No,
I'm not.
No, you are, bro.
You won't judge it on last
season. No, hold on. What is the question? Hold on. What is the question that you're trying to ask? Are you saying that Ndombele and Bazuma for Tottenham Hotspur, who has been a better player? Ndombele's been better than Bazuma.
You could judge that about anything. If you're going to use that narrative, you could easily manipulate it to however you want to. You could argue who's been a better player at Spurs, Eric Dyer.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Tottenham Hotspur. My entire point, Perchy, was that you are giving allowances to Bazuma. Bazuma came from a Graham Potter side that was set up to play football
and came into the wrong team under the wrong manager.
This is a pretty purposeless conversation, guys, because the truth be known, we are where we are now. Who is the better fit?
Mate,
for this squad going forward? Who is the better fit for us?
Right.
Who do the fans think is the better fit?
Nobody is arguing, Nobody is saying that Bazuma is not going to be a better player for us moving forward. What I am saying is Bazuma has shown us the square root of fuck all so far for Tottenham Hotspur. And you're rating him. Oh my God. Let me finish. You're rating him off his Brighton form. You are not rating him for what he's done for Tottenham. That's fair. I'm not begrudging you that. What I am saying is...
We bought him on his Brighton form, Jay. We bought him on his Brighton form.
I give up, man. I give up.
Right, Perchy.
You give up, Jay.
Perchy, I'll end this. Who got a title-winning medal last year? Basuma and Ndombele.
Barry, how many minutes?
No, it's done. And Ndombele won a title. Doesn't matter how many games you played. Won a title. Don't come back being Scott Carson.
Barry, don't make me silence you. Yeah, I'll silence you. Kim Jong Perch here. I'll mute Barry. Listen, if you don't want to see his face, I can do that as well, which is even funnier. No, but Barry, my point being is I have unmuted. Yeah, sorry. I didn't know if I'd done that. My point being, though, you could, from that metric, we might as well sign Scott Carson from that metric.
No.
From that metric, we might as well, because Scott Carson played one game last season.
No. Don't go
no. It doesn't work though.
Perchy, the point is, and I hate to agree. Perchy, I hate to agree with Jay, right?
Why did you say it so abruptly?
Agreeing with Jay is like agreeing with box office. I'm only joking, Jay. That's a really terrible I take that back. I take that back.
So that does be fighting words, but no, go on.
But listen, Perchy, it's true. Basuma has not done anything for Spurs.
But Tygaro's point here, big up Tygaro, because he's thrown his $2 Australian just at competing. What did any of them beside Kane do last season? And that's a great point. No one was good last season.
You're not like Jay saying you're not talking about what did Kane do, look, if we want to sit there, I'll say Emerson was better than all of them last season, so that's fine.
Oh, God. Right? Sorry, that is shameful.
Perchy, Jay has a point and you have a point. But Basuma at the moment has done nothing for Spurs. He's been given the number 8 shirt. He's shown encouraging signs. He's good. He's under the right manager. So let's see what he does.
Exactly. No, and the thing is on top of that, like in my head, I can think of games that Ndombele's had where he's had great games. Yeah, as in like, he had a great game. People can talk. And Ndombele's been there for 4 years. Yeah, Liverpool. When we played Liverpool at home, when we played Sheffield United away, like he's had. Bazuma hasn't had one good 90 minutes for Tottenham. Like, and the thing is that I'm not trying to say Bazuma won't be a better signing for Tottenham, won't have more value, won't long term be the better player. My initial point was that Ndombele got injured in this preseason, and that negated him the opportunity to see whether or not he could play forward for Ange. That was the sum total of my point. After that, people were like, well, Bazuma's shown us nothing. And the allowances you want to give Bazuma, hold on, the allowances you want to give Bazuma for not being able to fit into a Conte system, people don't want to give Ndombele the same allowances for not fitting into a Conte and Mourinho system. It's the same argument, but with different players.
But Jay, I'm going to meet you in the middle for this one. I'll meet you in the middle. using your argument, I'm going to try and meet you in the middle on this point.
What's my argument?
Because you're trying to say that, these managers. What about the managers?
I'm not saying these managers. I'm saying the argument for Bazuma is that he played in that Conte system. That same allowances should be allowed for Ndombele in that case.
But you don't. You try and negate the fact of other clubs when in the spine of him being a Tottenham player, he's been at 2 other clubs.
Yeah.
In your arguments and your arguments.
What's my argument? That's negative. What's my argument? Ndombele played at Napoli last
saying
season.
That we don't give the same leeway to Ndombele like we have for Basuma.
I'm saying that the exact rationale that you're using for Bazuma, could be extended to almost every player in the squad.
How?
Yeah, and that's my point. As in, it's a personal preference who fans want to give allowances to and not. I'm saying if you treat everybody on the same level. Yeah, if you treat everyone on the same level, Bazuma has huge upside, and I'm looking forward to seeing him perform this season. However, to think that last season he wasn't worse than Bazuma, like he was worse than Ndombele last season. Like for whatever, I'm not saying why he was worse. I'm not saying why he was worse, but he was worse. He added no value to the team and was unable to really get in the side above Skip, above Højbjerg, above Bentancur. That was maybe the manager's fault, but it's also facts. He did not show us his best face. And moving forward, he needs to improve a lot, which I think he's capable of. And Ndombele has had more time to show it and has also failed to show he's of the requisite level. However, the levels that Ndombele has shown are higher than the levels that Bazuma has shown because Bazuma has shown absolutely nothing.
See, I get your hyperbole and where you're going with it. I kind of get it. But surely you can see, and I'm sure people, it can't just be me that sees that this player was clearly held back under Conte. In a Conte system, it just didn't work. He was never going to be the starlet that we all wanted him to be. And listen, by the way, I'll stand and defend Basuma because I think Basuma is going to be one of our best midfielders next season. And I'll put I will put everything on the line to say that I'm going to be right. That our number 8.
You won't put him in your fantasy team, Perchy.
Huh?
But he's not in your fantasy team.
No, because come off it. You know why he's not in the fantasy team.
Barry,
this is why Barry gets removed. Yeah, Barry, take care, mate. Anyway, Barry had to go. Unfortunately, I think he's got to go and play some cricket with a bunch of oldies that he plays with, and he tries to make himself look good playing cricket. He's back. Oh God, sorry, I didn't see. Sorry, I think I spoke out of tune. But no, listen, with Ndombele though, I think this for me. I'll sit back and go, how many more chances do we give this player? Listen, the amount of chances we gave him when he joined, give him another season, did nothing. Went on loan to Lyon, they didn't want to sign him. Came back, didn't really do anything under Conte. Went on loan to Napoli and played 1 game last season for 90 minutes. Come back and now everyone's going, let's see if we can give him a chance. No, get rid. Cut your losses, get rid and move on.
But what Jay's saying, when he was saying it was a choice between Lo Celso and Ndombele, and if Ndombele had started those games, he wasn't injured, and it was between those two, we would have then been able to
exactly, man.
Make a decision, right?
It's a different narrative.
Because I think, and I know he's in the chat. Dan was saying he'd take Harry Winks over Ndombele. Absolutely no chance would anyone take that in the world. I love you, Dan. But come on, man. And Ndombele has something, but he hasn't shown it for Spurs.
But Barry, everyone says
he hasn't got the opportunity.
I'm not debating about the Harry Winks comment, but my point being is everyone keeps saying he's got something. What is it? Because I haven't seen it. What has he got? Apart from being lazy and slow, and downright arrogant at times, what has he got? I want to know. Everyone tells me what he's got. What has he got? Because someone in the chat tell me, and someone.
But the thing is, by the same token, it's like any player can be made to look bad if you have like everyone comes in with a logic on a player.
I was there when it happened.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is everybody comes in with a logic on a player. So you will have, and it's your biases. Like I will have biases about players. I will see, like me, Pedro Porro. I don't like his face. Yeah, I don't like Porro's face. Yeah, his face annoys me. Yeah,
he's personal.
He's defended and losing more. Yeah, but that's our point. So the thing is bias-wise, I might have more bias against Porro than I would against Emerson, but I am aware of it. So when I'm watching it, I hold it back. In these situations, when I'm talking about these players, I am not trying to say that this player is better than that player. This player is going to be a better fit than that player. All I'm saying is that, people are saying you're being sentimental and things like that. No, a different style of play, different things. If the manager wants him, I want him. If the manager wants to play him, I want to play him. That's just the way it is. I'm not coming in with preconceived biases as to why a player is or isn't going to work. It's very easy for me to say the Cess and the Dyers and stuff, because I've seen it over a prolonged period of time, and I don't think that's going to change. With an Ndombele in an Ange midfield, that's the variable. Do you see what I mean? That's a variable. To me, I don't know. See, James is, I've seen this James Pillai, yeah? Anybody that says Porro is good is doing the same thing that they're doing with Bizuma, yeah? Has he been good for Tottenham?
Now, Porro's one of those. He can't play right back. I'll back you up on that. Porro can't play right back.
Porro is costing us a goal a game.
Agreed.
Yeah?
I agree with that.
Bizuma's had a bad first season. But these two players, yeah, the fans, I'll read the comments and they'll be like, oh, these players are great, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. That is your bias telling you that these players are going to come good. Not based off evidence, based off pure your thought process.
Guys, so with the work we've done this year and the progress we've made, improvements in the squad, how would you rate our progress? Haven't we, now that we've got, we signed Porro fully, although we was obliged to buy him anyway. We signed up Kulusevski, we got rid of Winks, and we've now got in 4 players, squad players, plus 2 with potential in Olivier Viez and Ashley Phillips. So how do you rate work so far this season? I see a lot of 4s and 5s yesterday in the group. I'd actually, now that we've got Phillips in and we're getting Van der Ven, I'd give it a 7.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm just reading this James Pillai thing. James, just because you don't understand me doesn't mean I'm not making sense. Have a morning coffee, eat your Weetabix, come back, and we'll be good, man. We'll be good, man. I'm not trying to listen. I'm not trying to heckle your audience members, but if he's trying to heckle me, I will throw the tomatoes right back at him. I'll throw canned tomatoes at him. Do you know what I mean? I'm okay with that.
Listen, it's all fun. It's all fun and games. No one abused it. No one get personal. It's just a bit of love. We just debate, football debate.
Unpopular opinion. Should we have signed Kulusevski?
Yes.
Should we have signed him? No.
I don't think we should have signed Kulusevski and Porro with the benefit of hindsight. I don't think we should have signed both of them.
We should have bought one or the other.
Yeah, one or the other. I think both of them is. Now we have 2 players that might not be a perfect fit for the formation.
I said this all along about Kulusevski, and everyone was dropping their pants for him. It was, but it's a good deal, 25 million quid for Kulusevski. I said, I don't know. Just because he's on Sweden,
a more informed Kulusevski this year, as you will all our forwards purchase, simply because we're going to be playing more on the front foot, so the front players will see more of the ball rather than have to track back and try and defend. So you're going to see more of him, and he's got the skill set. Kula's got the skill set. People say he only goes one way.
The only thing with Kula,
but he does tend to cut in on his left foot to try the curler in the far corner. But that's something he'll learn. That's decision making.
But we say about this. What do we see? And what did we see also last season? He's so one-dimensional, Kulusevski, and even in pre-season, it took some Singaporean sailors to read him by 10 minutes ago. He's out.
Sorry. One sec. So I've got this personal vendetta with this James Pillai in the chat because I'm just reading his comments. Yeah,
I've never seen it.
James, you're not.
You know what? I love this. Don't start making. No, do you want to know
what it is for me? It's like people like James, right? And I'm going to speak openly to you, James. I don't really know you, but I'm going to make a lot of assumptions about your personality and character.
Here we go.
Because he's waffling. The thing with you, James, is that you like your opinions like an echo chamber. You like to say it, to have it echo around, and for it to resonate with you again. Sometimes when people bring you other points of view, it's okay to say, you know what, let me listen. And some of you in the comments, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're waiting to speak. Yeah, I saw a guy before. Yeah, I think, what's his name? His name's Steve D. Yet you'll give Ndombele a chance. I can't make this up. Ha, 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 ha. Is that what I fucking said? Is that what I said? Is that what I said? And you've taken that from it. You say that I want to give Ndombele a chance. Is that what I fucking said? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, cloth for ears, fucking nothing between them. What are we doing here?
Keep going.
You Perchu.
Back to you, Perchu.
The end of the stream.
I'm baffled. I'm actually, at no point have I said I want Ndombele in the squad next season. I have said that Ndombele was going to get given a chance and got injured. If Ange wanted him, I was happy to have him. And he's been better for Tottenham than Bizuma. Those are the 3 points that I've made. Nothing else. Nothing else whatsoever. And people in the comments are saying, oh, you want Ndombele. Oh, you want this. Oh, no, you don't want to listen. You just want to complain because you've heard me on a couple of times defend the club and you've got a little agenda against me.
You know what I'm gonna say, Jay?
Bro, listen to what I'm saying, yeah? It'll make everything so much
happy
easier.
Birthday. I was actually trying to be nice.
You know what I'm saying, man? What,
no,
you listen to you, but all you do is raise your voice instead of improving your argument. I have a good argument. You just don't like it. You just don't like my argument. There's nothing for me to do here. Like, what do you want from me? Like, you have a different point of view. Why are you upset at me for that? Man, it's my birthday. I shouldn't be stressing like this.
No, listen, don't worry about the comments.
What would Cody Rhodes do? What would Cody Rhodes do is the question that I want to ask. Look at
you lot all celebrating the fact that I'm getting demonetized now. See, stop it. It's not funny.
It's
all good fun.
These guys are insane. You're trying to be Mr. Box.
I'm shooting at my friends.
Nah, listen, honestly, I'm so baffled. You listen, I came on this show because I want to talk ball and things like that.
Yeah,
you guys think that like these comments and things like that. We're just here to talk Tottenham. Like I'm so baffled.
If anyone gets personal, Ben with his hammer will boot you out. If anyone's getting personal in the chat, you're booting out.
It's all good. Listen, it's all love. We all have different opinions on Tottenham. But my point is that like it's gonna be a good season. Whether people like it or not, we're gonna have fun this season. We're gonna enjoy this season. Like Tiny Legs, you're absolutely right, bro. That's what I have to take breaks from this because it's like a fungus that grows on you and makes you ill supporting Tottenham in the social media era. So
read the super chat.
Taking a break. Back to you.
Boy, you even when Mr. Boxers is with the back to you, I want the back to you, Perchy. I'm done. Anyway, Mr. Tigaro, thank you so much for the super chat. Another one over. Thank you so much. $5. Son, Kulizeski, Basuma, Richarlison, Lloris Romero, and others were down last season. Only Kane had this stop rising. Conte was poisonous and ruined. Yeah, I agree. Bang on. No debate on that one. I think Conte had to go. It was the wrong fit. And no, loves music. Don't be rude. Listen, Jay's cool. We love him. But yeah, don't swear.
Actually, can I just say, in terms of what I was saying about in credit where credit's due, right? And we know we say about sometimes we need to give Daniel Levy credit. Daniel Levy, right, has ignored Bayern's supposed deadline to go on holiday with his family. That is ultimate Daniel Levy shithouse.
I rate the shamelessly. I rate the shameless bit of it. It's going, do you know what? Our big superstars being hounded by Bayern Munich. Do you know what I'm going to do with a week going of the season? Nah, I'm going on holiday, mate. See ya. Peace out. Have a good one. Yeah, happy birthday to Jay, by the way. Listen, guys in the chat, nothing is saying personal. Me and Jay are cool. We chat all the time on and off stream, so don't try that one night. We're not doing that. We just have a laugh and listen. We're passionate people. We didn't have this. You lot wouldn't watch it. You all love watching arguments. Everyone's here.
I know this is a pure Leo. Honestly, it's a pure Leo thing. And what some of the comments are getting is like, it's like I like a balanced argument, and we're all hypocritical. I am very hypocritical at times, but I always try and catch it. I'm almost like if you have the argument for Bizuma, you have to leverage that argument across everybody else. That even if you don't like them, if you want to say that certain players been good, listen, I think Bizuma is going to have an all-timer season. But
I agree.
But people have to understand that people were abusing Højbjerg last season for having a much better season than Bizuma.
Yeah, he played 35 games,
much better season than Bizuma.
88.6.
Yeah, but Yeah, but in absolute fairness and clarity, Højbjerg fit the system perfectly.
Yeah.
But I don't want Højbjerg at the club because I think he's a really, really limited football player. He's good. He's good at what he does, but he's very, very limited. Very limited. I think he will struggle in this system. And I'll be honest.
What did Jose say? He said, Jose said, see where they play, if they play. Yeah. And so that's what I want to do with some of these players that the fans say aren't good enough and this and that and yada yada. Højbjerg. If Højbjerg's like everyone's like, oh, Højbjerg. If I see Højbjerg in the Champions League quarterfinals with Atletico Madrid next season running games, I'm gonna be having conversations with
people. I would love a Sandal or a Amrabat if Højbjerg went, but when fans say, they always say, get rid of a player, get rid of him and replace him with who? Who are you replacing him with?
Højbjerg.
Because if Ange be wise enough, if things go wrong with his system, he has to tweak it.
Yeah.
Who are we going to bring in to stiffen up the midfield?
I'll be honest. I think I will agree on this point. If we can't sell him and not buy someone. That's my theory. So I agree with what you're saying there.
My theory on top of that. Look at Trippier.
He slowly bleed out of Højbjerg in the midfield because I don't think he'll fit the system. I'm honest on that. I've said it. I've said it for years. By the way, I don't think he's a great football player. I think he's very, very limited. But what he is he's a. When you said about Atletico Madrid, if there was ever a player that fitted a team perfectly, it was Højbjerg at Atletico Madrid.
Can I ask this question about Trippier?
Huh?
Because what I feel like the fan base is doing with Højbjerg is exactly what the fan base did with Trippier. It's identical. I'm looking at it and it's identical.
No, Trippier was in poor form when we got rid of him.
Højbjerg's also had a dip in form. Højbjerg's also had a dip in form due to being overplayed, playing injured. Like, honestly, I see in a very similar situation, even down to the fact that they went to the same club or they're arguably going to go to the same club. Simeone has seen something in these players where he's like, there's a huge amount of
player.
That's but the thing is, running to the ground.
I don't actually disagree with you, Jay.
I don't think we're all disagreeing with the points. I think we're adding context in slightly different ways. I'm looking at it from the point of view of saying, when we sold Trippier, people were happy to sell Trippier because he'd had a poor season. Yeah. But after that, we saw the level of Trippier in the market versus other right backs. And that's what I think people aren't doing. They're taking the player out of context versus the players against him. And that's where you're going to see the true value of the player. Because then it's like, compare Højbjerg to other players that might play the 6 or might play the 8. Then you're going to see his level. Yeah. On the Trippier bit, we threw Trippier away because we thought that's his limit. He's just going to decline. He can't, whatever, we can get a bit of cash for him. And I'm worried we're doing a similar thing with Højbjerg where we're saying we can get X amount of cash for this player. Let's just get the cash in without truly seeing, okay, how far does that 35 million pounds go in trying to get a replacement and value to the team? That's my concern.
For me, I get that. I do get your sentiment. But when we talk about selling players, what I want to see at this football club, and this doesn't just talk about Højbjerg, this is just in general, by the way. This is collectively. I don't want us to start going, let's see what we can do this season. And so I want to start seeing more proactive nature of us. Going, do you know what? He doesn't fit the mold. We're getting rid because we're going to go and bring in this player. And this player doesn't have to be the same value. It could be less. It could be more. I'm not on about that. I'm not talking about values. I try not to. What I do want to see is us acting properly. What I don't want to see us do anymore, which it winds me up what we do. We keep players. I use the term on Tottenham tour. I sent a super chat into him. I said, what we don't do, we don't recycle. We let players rot. We need to start recycling players. So, like, for example, now, whilst we can get a commanding fee for Højbjerg, doesn't really fit the system that we're playing in, let go. Boom. There you go. Go and get 30, 40 million euros from him now and go, do you know what? Because we've identified insert player now that will fit that mold for us better than what we've got. What I will say, we can't sell players unless we've got replacements. We have to be working in a cycle like that. It has to be one out, one in. Realistically, is a fair way to put it. And but we got to be doing this more often. We can't be sitting there with blind loyalties with players, in a sense. I'm not saying you are, by the way. That's not what I'm saying. But when I hear about when people go, we can't sell Son. Why can't we? Why can't we?
I think
we can't sell Kulusevski. Why can't we?
But doesn't the system, like, I'm not going to say the system, like, we've got some very good players. Yeah, I like to think we've got a good first team. I think we're fortunate by saying the squad's too big at the moment. The squad is too big, and we do need to make some tough decisions with the squad.
Who would you let go, Jay? I'd like to
get straight away. Rodon, Sanchez, Tanganga, Reguilon, Lloris, and Ndombele. Probably Gil. Yeah, because Perisic is a high level. Perisic is a high level winger. Perisic is a high level winger.
No.
If the option is sell Gil and keep Perisic and then buy another winger next season,
what would be your transfer fee? So listen, people might call me. Listen, Brian Hill's one of those. I sit back and go, I want to see him play in this system. I want to see 6 months of him up to January in this system because I can. Do you know what? He's one of those, and I hate the saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. The saying of there's a player in there, and I do hate normally saying
I like him.
There's a part of me that I look and go, he's clearly got something about him, but what I would say, if in 6 months' time he can't even get into the first team, I would agree with you. Get rid. It's not worth having.
That's my point. Is Perisic to me? Obviously, we've always played him as a left wing back and stuff, but he is a top level winger still. He still is a top level winger.
I would keep Perisic, but I wouldn't offer him a new contract.
Yeah, exactly. And I get what people are saying about Gil being 22 and stuff like that. For me, I would sell Gil on one of those, like selling for like £20 million and then 50% of future fee. Something like a deal like that, like where you basically say, the buyback. You get to a point now where you've got Son, you've got Solomon, you've got Perisic, you've got Kulu. Porro can maybe play right wing as well. So you're basically saying, right, there's 5 wingers there, who can all add value. There's no space for Gil for him to develop and grow as a player whilst getting enough minutes. So to me, whether you make the decision now to sell him or whether you sell him in 6 months or in a year, the guy's eventually going to need to be sold because we're not going to give him the amount of time he needs to become the player he can be. That to me is quite obvious.
Jay, people need to understand the AIM system. Normally, you bring his substitutes on after an hour, which means he can rotate the squad, keep players happy, give them a bit of game time, and Gil can play. When Spurs went out to Korea, I mean, Gil fits the system for energy and chasing and all that. Yeah. He was one of 2 players that after that Marine put them all through their paces and they're throwing up on the pitch. I forget who the other player was. There was 2 Spurs players in that squad that were the fittest out of all of them. So he fits it for energy and dynamism and all that. We know he's got a good skill set. But the question is, he's been proved to be a bit lightweight. As an impact sub on 30 minutes, I think he would tear teams to pieces if you give him half hour. I think he would then, but that's not good enough for me. I want a 90-minute player, right? Yeah. So after a few hits of doing that, seeing what you could do, you could start think about giving a bit more game time. There's other players we can get rid of out of the foreign quota before Gil, but depends if he wants to go. Same with Lo Celso. Lo Celso wanted to go before. Does he want to stay? Is his attitude right? Depends. Ndombele, I think his attitude's piss poor. But look, we got to trust in Ange. It's going to be interesting to see what the final shape of the 25-man squad is, and whether if we bring others in, I mean, would you, even if you say there was 2 excellent African players out there you want to bring in, would you bring them in knowing that in January the 13th, things starts goes through to the
I'm not. What's that manager of fucking? Who's the manager of PSG that got sacked? Who's the manager? Sorry, man. Who's the manager of
PSG? Doesn't matter now, Bertie, does it?
Oh yeah, no. Let me send you some. Let me send you a $5 for the super chat because you've been going to be demonetized.
Oh, good man.
Where is
it?
You
got Thomas Stupid chatting. This is what I love, Jay.
That's what I'm saying. It reminds me of America pay-to-play subs, innit?
Buying you a drink on his birthday purchase.
I know, yeah. Don't worry. I'm refunding my parents' money. You know, my mum sent me 20 quid. She said, "Go buy yourself something nice." I said, "Mum, it's 2023. What do you want me to do?"
You buy a bag of sweets.
That's going to barely pay my.
Fredo. You'll get a Fredo for 20 quid. I think.
I know. But I think everyone's right on Sarr. And so not Sarr, on Gil, because the thing is I don't think anybody here is saying he's not a good player. And I don't think anybody here is saying that they don't think he could add value to Tottenham. I think we just have a lot of players. You know, we just have a lot of players, and we have a lot in the squad. But I like the squad makeup. It's a good squad. Bring me another centre back, and then replace the players that are leaving, and we'll have fun this season. Like, I'm seeing people's predictions and stuff. At the moment, yeah. Where would you guys say we are as a club in terms of if we were to make no other sign? Actually, let's say we buy one more centre back, yeah. Unknown who it is, but he's a good rotation option, and then the rest of the squad is more or less the same. Let's take Kane out. Let's take Kane out. Let's take Kane out and say we're going to bring a young forward in. Let's take Højbjerg out too. Yeah, Højbjerg and Kane out this squad. Young forward in, another centre back. Where does that squad at that moment finish for you?
7th.
Anywhere between 5th and 8th.
I'd say 7th. Stand by it. I've said it. I think we'll finish 7th.
To Europe this year, though.
I think we'll get into Europe. We'll finish either in the Europa League or the Conference League. I think we'll finish there. I think we'll be in Europe, but I think we'll finish 7th. But we'll play better football. That's my theory.
Yeah, because we'll be fresh. We've only got one game a week.
And I'll put everyone else in the comments. Really Steve said happy birthday to you, Jay, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it all, guys. I'm my swear box is more than Tottenham's
I need to put like a potty mouth box.
It's bigger than Tottenham's transfer kitty right now, my swear box.
6, 7.
The ranges look good. Everyone's like 4.
Yeah, 6, 9. Everyone's very similar. 9, 7.
We'll win an FA Cup.
10th. His swear box office. Honestly, big up, Alex. 5th and 9th. 5th to 9th, sorry. 4th to 7th. Tigara thinks we might be back in the Champions League. I like the optimism.
Yeah.
Aston Villa will finish above you guys. I don't know, Neil. Maybe. Listen,
I don't think Brighton, Newcastle, Villa have a good a season as they did last season.
You spoke for me. I was just about to say.
I was moving you on to the next segment.
Barry's got a brilliant transition. He transitions over brilliantly. No, what I was going to say that though, I think what we're going to see though is the likes of Newcastle, Brighton, and Aston Villa really test themselves, because as I said it on I think it was me and you actually, we were on it with Savo, and I said the one thing what I think with those guys, those teams are, they've got to adapt to Europe. One thing they haven't done it, they haven't been there and done it yet for a very long time for the likes of Villa and Newcastle. Brighton have never been in Europe. What they've got to do is they've got to navigate their way through playing either Wednesday, Saturday, or Thursday, Sunday. Mm-hmm. But also the one key point is these clubs are bottom in the pots. Newcastle are pot 4 in the Champions League.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So they've got to go and they could get a group where they've got to play Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. I don't know who's in pot 3, but let's just say I don't know actually who there is, but
so like they're going to be stretched a lot more.
So they've got to go and play. They might have to play 3 big games in Europe. You know, like sometimes when you're in pot 2, you play a Barcelona.
Every game's hard. Every game's hard. Yeah.
Every game is hard, but you could end up playing like Barcelona, Bruges, and Galatasaray.
Yeah, but these guys are going to play like Leipzig, Barcelona, and
Soren's come back for the last 10 minutes. Big up, Soren. How you doing, mate? Welcome back. You missed it, man. It was a bit heated. It was all fun.
I didn't actually miss it. I was listening to it in the other.
Good on you. So I think just to sort of back onto the point. Sorry, what we were talking about. Like, I think we have a chance to finish above Newcastle, Villa, and Brighton this season.
We have to take it. We have to take it personally. We actually can't afford to finish below Newcastle and Villa 2 years in a row. We must.
No. I think Newcastle will be there or thereabouts. I think they've got a very good squad. I think Villa as well. Villa have recruited well. Brighton are going to struggle. I think Brighton will finish mid-table this season.
Is that including if Caicedo stays?
I think he'll go. In my opinion,
if he stays, would you revisit that opinion if he stays?
I think they still will finish around. I think they'll finish anything between 8th and 12th. I think this season, but I don't think that's I don't think that's being derogatory to Brighton.
No, it's not.
They will put their eggs in Europe. I think they'll go. Do you know what? They'll do a bit like what West Ham did, where they kind of went. Do you know what? We're not going to bother about the league as long as we make sure we don't get relegated, but we'll go out and win a trophy this season. I think Brighton might as well. They've got nothing to lose, have they, in Europe? Let's be honest.
Villa probably worry me the most out of those three teams. Out of Brighton, Newcastle, and Villa probably made me the most nervous.
Newcastle are going to keep improving. They've recruited really well, and so have Villa, by the way.
But the thing with Newcastle that I think people aren't noticing yet is that with the change in rules about the ball being out of play, I want to see how that affects Newcastle, because everyone knows that Newcastle are houses. See, I'm learning with the blanking. So people are knowing that Newcastle are bully boys. They play bully boy football, run you, press you, all this sort of stuff. But they also waste a lot of time. Newcastle have the ball in play, I think the least amount in the Premier League. And the Premier League are bringing in the World Cup style. That's gonna change some stuff. A thing that I've noticed about us is we're incredibly vertical. So we are aggressive. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. With the change of rules, with the extra minutes and things like that, that's going to be advantageous for teams like us. You know, teams that want to play, teams that want to actually beat the opposition, teams that aren't wasting time. Newcastle, little things like this, you know, we had the World Cup, we had Europe, you know, we had a very short turnaround last season.
Can I ask you a question? And I'll put this question out to everyone. What is more important to Spurs next season? Getting back into the Champions League or winning a domestic cup? What's more important next season? What is more important for us to do? Honestly,
as a fan base or as a club?
I think both.
You know, I think for me personally, it's about managing expectations. It's like if you want to be, it's almost like we've always wanted to be a Champions League level club. So it's like if you're in the Europa League, you don't take it as seriously because you've got eyes on a bigger prize. I think it's almost about cutting your cloth accordingly as you grow. So top six, and winning a cup, I'd be more than happy with that over making Champions League. Champions League isn't.
What if we finish 10th and won a cup?
That'd be fine too. But the thing is I need to understand why we finished 10th, because I believe a lot in Ange and what he's trying to do, and I think the squad is good. So if I believe in Ange and I think the squad is good, then why the hell are we finishing 10th? Do you see what I mean? As in, something's gone wrong.
Squad's a good point, because that's what that can make the difference if you're actually winning something or finishing the league in a higher position, having a good squad of players, which the rest of your teams can't do it. So squad's so important. I mean, if we get another couple in now, wow, you know, I'm giving
I would say
7 out of 10 already.
Yeah, I would say that. I've got an interesting question.
Go on. Wrap it up. We'll wrap it up on this question.
Aside from David Moyes, because I think he's the first manager that's going to get sacked.
You think?
Yeah. Who? I reckon Eddie Howe could be one of the first ones sacked this season.
Now, it's an interesting theory. Like, what are you basing that on? What are you basing? Where's your logic for how God?
I just think with everything that's happened with all the other clubs, right? Look, Luton, Sheffield United, all those ones that come up, they know that they're probably going to go straight back down. So there's not really a sign of that. West Ham have signed no one, so there's that with it. But I just think Newcastle could go on that run. They could go on that run, get a few injuries, and it could be, all of that joy and everything else that they've had towards the end of last season and having to manage everything. I just think, I think out of those, if you were to choose Villa, Brighton and Newcastle, I think Howe's the most at risk out of those three if they're not going to do as well.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm trying to think actually.
I think Klopp and even Den Haag are under a lot of pressure.
Listen. I think Liverpool personally are in a lot of trouble. Like personally, the reason why is when we played Liverpool last season and we came back from 3-0 down and should really have drawn the game. I remember watching that game thinking, "Wow, Liverpool are open. Like, wow, they can be got out very easily." You lose 10 players. You bring in 2 players. You're going to bring in an untested, and I like Lavia, but he's untested at the very highest level as a 6. And I'm looking at that team and I'm like, the issues that you have are structural. They're formation issues. Bring in McAllister in, and even little things like Curtis Jones versus McAllister. Curtis Jones had a very good finish to last season. So you bring McAllister in. How much of an improvement is McAllister on Jones? He is an improvement, but how much of an improvement was he on how Jones finished the season? So when I'm looking at this and positionally, they're a Kanate injury away from that defense not being able to hold together. So Liverpool are in trouble. Wolves manager is going to walk. I agree. No chance that Wolves manager lasts 4 weeks into the season with them not buying any players.
I think Lopetegui, Moyes, or Steve Cooper.
I think
if Forest might have one of those seasons, that second season syndrome, like they like to call it, where they could be in trouble. I hope they don't though, because I actually really like Steve Cooper. I think he's a good manager.
He's a good call. I agree with you on Forest. Forest, Wolves, Liverpool. They're my picks.
They're not sacking. Liverpool are not sacking Jurgen.
They're not going to sack. They might not sack him, but there might be an announcement halfway through the season that Klopp's finishing at the end of the season.
But we said about the first manager to get sacked. Klopp will not be on that list. That's
fair enough. So I would say Lopetegui, you can argue he won't sack. He'll walk. Yeah. But if we're talking pure sackings, the West Ham situation looks like it's building up to a crescendo because you see every day it's like, I want Ward-Prowse, I want Maguire. No. I want to give you top European talents. And no. So there just seems like the director of football and Moyes are at loggerheads. So
guys, how much pressure do you think Poch is under at Chelsea this season?
I don't think he's in any under this season.
I'll tell you what. I think if they have a bad start, he could be under a lot of pressure.
I don't see that they will though.
Chelsea.
Yeah, but we didn't see them having a bad season last season, did we? With the players they've
bought. But you've got to put context to that, Soren. In my opinion, like for me, I look back and I looked at that team and I went, they brought in about 13 million players, and then everyone just goes, "Oh well, they've signed loads of good players, so they've got to play well." No, they're human. Like
what you've got to consider is where us as Tottenham fans were crying in our porridge that he'd gone to Chelsea. What about the Chelsea fans thinking we've got a manager from Tottenham? You know, it could be the fan base that put the pressure on him.
The fan base will, because Chelsea fans are ruthless when it comes to that. I think I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think Chelsea are going to win something next season.
I expect
they'll win a Carabao or an FA Cup this season. Yeah. They're not going to win the league. They're not that level. They'll be in the Champions League. I think they'll be comfortably in the Champions League next season. Spaces.
Yeah, but we look at it, and don't forget when Poch went to PSG with all the big names, he wasn't.
But he hasn't got big names at Chelsea though.
Yeah, but
he's got big players. But he hasn't got big egos there.
Well, he's got names though. But what makes me laugh is like they paid all that money for Madrid, and Solomon kept him out the Shakhtar Donetsk side.
But I mean,
Solomon kept Mudryk out of the shape.
Mudryk's going to get another one. I think he's a talented boy. I think he's going to. It's one of those. I think we all judged Chelsea very harshly at the end of last year. Yeah, they had a crap season, but as I said, they bled a lot of youngsters in. What Pochettino will do? He's the right man for the job at Chelsea. However much we don't like to say it, he's the perfect manager to get these young lads. And I completely disagree with the fact that they've got egos there. I don't think they've got good players. They haven't got egos. They've got young, hungry. But what they've got what we had at Spurs, but on a different level. Where they've gone and spent it and got a load of youngsters from all across Europe.
They're
gone,
winning.
They'll slowly building it right.
I agree with Soren. I think Poch is under a lot of pressure, and it's not just that they've brought in so many players. They've had to sell so many youngsters, right?
I haven't though. They haven't sold many youngsters.
Yeah, but Poch's biggest problem is going to be keeping that squad happy, and because Todd Bowley's just thrown everyone in there. Get on with it. It's not the way Poch works. He wanted another job. He's thrown all them players at him.
Yeah, but Adrian, they're not going to. It's not going to be the same. I don't agree with that. It's not going to be the same as what it would be like at PSG, where you've got the Messis, the Mbappes, the Neymars, and you've got to get the Sergio Ramoses.
You've got Nkunku in there. You've got Mudryk in there.
Nkunku's an amazing player, but he's not a. I wouldn't look at him and go, "Oh, he's an ego." He's going to be sitting there going, "Oh, I must do this now." I think that's very.
Why did Mount leave?
Why did Mount leave? Well, he left because he left because he wanted more money. That's why he left.
Well, he wanted to respect.
Well, just to change.
He felt like his contract that he was offered wasn't good enough, and he left for Man United.
But just to kind of go back a little bit in time for what you were talking about before, do you not find this season is going to be really exciting? The fact that Tottenham could finish in the top 4 or 5, we could finish 15th, 16th, we could finish 8th or 9th, we could win a trophy.
I agree.
This season is just so.
That's the one point I'll agree with here on this part is where everyone sort of is going about all the pessimism. The one thing I will say that I'm excited for the season. And I'll be honest, I never felt that last year. I thought when under Conte, I went, yeah, we got into the Champions League, it was great, but I never got to the end of the start of the season, went, oh my God, I can't wait, the season's going to start now. I'll be honest, I can't wait for the season to start.
I'm hoping that Poch gets exposed because the league has moved on from a tactical point of view. That's what I'm hoping.
I agree because he's a Chelsea manager.
Of course. Absolutely. Listen, I love the guy. I've got his book and everything upstairs. But at the end of the day, I want this guy to
burn it on stream. Do it. That'll get the views. I'm playing. I'm joking. I know you're not going to do it.
Where we say about that, if you go not last season, but leading up, when we got top 4 and that, and we were all saying, do you know, Conte's got a pre-season now. Next season's going to be fantastic. And then all of a sudden, you saw the way they were training, and as a fan, you just kind of thought, these players are going to be knackered when we start. And we started, and it just didn't work. Whereas this season, it's kind of like, we don't know what to expect.
Agreed.
We people are saying don't get your hopes up, but I don't know if it's Ange Postecoglou or what, but there's just something about this season coming where you think, I can't not be excited. Mate,
it's a free swing. It's a free swing this season. Because at the end of the day, no expectations, obviously we don't want to be sugar. But the thing is that we're in a situation here for me is that we have the guy, and you look at from a tactical point of view and things like that. Look at the league. Look at where the league's going. Yeah, I said this when it happened. I'd rather have an Ange than a Poch. Because
I'll be honest, I didn't want Pochettino back.
I know, but the thing is what you need to see about it is look at where the league's going now. All tacticos, all super position. Your De Zerbis, your Artetas, your Ten Hags. We needed a tactician. We've always been getting managers who aren't tacticians. Well, we got Mourinho and Conte. You can argue when those guys were maybe not as effective. Yeah. Now we've got the right manager at the right time. Yeah. I'm completely with you, Percy. As in, Pochettino could surprise us all. He could do an Eddie Howe. He could show that he went away and he learned loads, and he's going to implement it at Chelsea. But
I agree with you. I've got to wrap up in a minute. So just because it's 1 o'clock for me and the sun's out and I want to go. I'll be honest, I'm looking at it. I don't want to sit indoors anymore. I want to go out. I want to go out in the sun. I'll be honest, that's the reason. I want to put up one comment though, and I'll be honest, I try not to get triggered by comments, but this one did trigger me. From Ken Mehmet, everyone's an effing expert while sitting in their basement. We're just giving our opinions, mate.
I know. I'm actually in my living room.
An opinion.
I'm in my living room.
I'm in the front room.
Listen, make sure you've liked the stream and make sure you're subscribed because we're on the road to 1,600 and we're going to give away a shirt. And guys, as I say, genuinely, guys, if you haven't, please like the stream. This has been a good. I've had a good laugh. Listen, it's been a great stream, Perchy. Where else are you going to find this kind of base? Where else are you going to find this basement level of expertise and insight?
I mean, the best thing about it is, I
will say this. I'm just going to quick wrap up. Sorry, guys, and I'll let you sort of everyone plug away and do whatever you want in a second. I just want to say, guys, please like and subscribe. Obviously, we're on the road to 1,600. And if we get there, as I said, by the Brentford game, if we get the earlier we get it, the quicker I'll give away a football shirt of your choice with whatever name you want on the back, your decision. But we have to get there by kickoff of the Brentford game. If it kicks off and we've not got there, I won't be giving it away, and we'll move the target to another moment. I want to help give some back. Make sure you've joined the fantasy league because it's just going to be a bit of fun and we'll have a bit of a laugh. And whoever's bottom will be laughing at on stream. There's a lot of content coming out soon. I've been working the backgrounds with some really cool creators. I want to get some stuff done with, which is going to be good. We'll be doing a weekly Spurs review sort of show. Oh no, I've just realised what I've just said. I know, not the Spurs review. Sorry, Sava, I'm not nicking your name. Spurs roundup. We're going to call it the roundup or something like that. I can't think of the right name for it. I don't want to nick other people's names. It's so disingenuous.
Yeah, there's not many names out there that haven't been taken. Yeah, already. Do you know what I mean?
There's a corner and a review which I can't take, of course. But yeah, and I've also got a video that we're going to be going live with an Arsenal fan, which we're doing a weekly segment with. If anyone knows him, go over to TJ Warren TV. If you don't know him, he's an American lad, sports Arsenal. So we're doing a weekly segment on every Tuesday with him for an hour or so, just to sort of talk about both teams. That's coming soon. We're bringing back Around the Grounds. So next weekend, Around the Grounds, all the 3 o'clock games will be spoken about starting next weekend. 3 o'clock onwards, we'll be talking about Spurs. We've got the weekly, every match reaction for every game that's going to be happening. I'm trying to go as quickly as I can. I'm just trying to think what else I've got prepared. And obviously the sort of daily videos will be continuously coming out. So guys, there's a lot of content. I've been working a lot hard behind the scenes on it. Spending nights until 1, 2 in the morning designing thumbnails for the year, which is going to be quite exciting. There's loads of stuff doing. Guys, thanks so much for coming on, by the way. It's been I've had a good time. Are you on Twitter? I'm sure you're on social media. Adrian?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. If you go to my Twitter handle by my name here, you'll get the link to my Facebook page.
Yeah. Go on. Same with Jay. Jay, when are you getting your channel, by the way?
Listen, I like popping up on everybody's. And I want to say as well, big up the comment section, because I've been on some shows and people don't understand that like the comments are really big for these kind of shows. You know, otherwise it can be a bit like a monologue and you're just talking to yourself. So whatever you guys are saying, whether or not you're agreeing with me, whether you're calling me a Levy lover, a Levy Levite, or or you're just saying that I'm just waffling, it's always appreciated, and you guys add a lot of value. Aside from that, you find me floating around on different channels until I get something permanent. But I think I'll be doing some stuff with Perchy. I do some stuff
definitely.
with Alan.
We'll be doing more stuff. Cool.
I pop up everywhere. But no, listen, Adrian, all you boys, today, really appreciate it. It's been a good. You know what? We've agreed a lot today, boys. I actually think we've agreed a lot.
Jay, I always say this when I do streams like this. I always say you don't want to be sat there and everyone just goes, "Yes, I agree." No, I disagree. Like we're passionate. We're fans. Like we have opinions. It's part of it. But there's no. the one thing, what I always say, it's never personal. It's just football.
Oh, never. No,
me and you chat on and off the stream all the time, mate. All the time.
It's just business. The business of supporting Tottenham Hotspur. That's all.
The thing is, though, Perchy, if the season is half as exciting as Jay's meltdown today, then we're in for a good season, aren't we?
Hey, you do that? You think that's a meltdown? Wait till Porro starts right back, first game of the season.
MJ Marcus doesn't realise I live in Barcelona, my friend. There is not a cloud in the sky, my friend. I'm off to the swimming pool to sunbathe.
Don't do your ankle in this time, Percy. Don't do your ankle in this time.
Oh, don't. My ankle, it took about 2 weeks to recover. It's been terrible. Barry, where can we see you, mate?
Well, you can see me tonight on the Three Spurs Boys. I'm hosting with Bobby K because Kuva's moving house and Ben is away on holiday. So I'm helping Bobby K. It's ladies' night tonight. So Mia is on, C Cubed is on, Ellie is on, and I think Kate is on from Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. So we got that tonight. I'll be at the ground tomorrow. So if anyone's going and you see me, come and say hi.
Where do you drink, Barry? Where do you drink at the ground?
Everywhere.
Well, I'm actually going into the stadium. I'm going with my mother and father-in-law. It was his 70th birthday on Thursday, so I'm taking him to the stadium for the first time. So I'll be in the stadium when it opens. I will be spending money in the stadium. Please don't kill me. It's because obviously he's 70 years old and he needs to go in. So it's not me going in. So everyone's going to be like taking pictures going, oh, Barry says he's leaving out, but I've just seen him at the goal line bar buying a drink.
He's only 2 years older than me. I'm 68.
So
we look fantastic, Adrian. There's no chance you're that old.
So I'll be there tomorrow. And then it'll be no surprise to anyone. Next week, I will be doing the watch along for We Are Tottenham TV with Sim.
Neil Sharp is right. He's taking over Tottenham TV.
No. Let's take overs this week, and so you'll see me around quite a lot this next week or so. What I will say, Soren, where can we catch you? You're on every stream I see everywhere.
He's everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, I just pop up on people's streams and kill the atmosphere, obviously.
No, not at all. You're always welcome. You're welcome, sorry.
If anybody's into the whiskey and Tottenham, then it's OCD Whiskey on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you can find me on the side of a cricket pitch with a stretcher ready for Barry. But no, just wherever.
Awesome. Guys, and in the chat, of course, thank you so much for watching. It's my birthday on Monday. Should I do a stream on Monday? I'm going to do a stream tomorrow. Should I do a stream on Monday? Who's up for that? I'm off. I'm going. My plan for my birthday is I'm going to a beach club, sitting there sunbathing with a cocktail in hand and just waiting for us to sign a player. But listen, if you want me to do a stream, I might do a stream on Monday. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe in the morning. I might jump in before Sava does his stream in the morning, and then I can go off on holiday and do my own thing on my day off. But guys, again, as I always say, thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure. Guys, again, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you join the fantasy team, and we'll be back here same time tomorrow. Peace out.
Always a pleasure.
Bye.